Oh, welcome to Dominico Field. Thomas West here alongside Zach Benoit. It's the Welland Jackfish visiting the Toronto Maple Leafs tonight. Kind of cloudy here at the pits. We're hoping that the rain holds off. According to the forecast, it is, and we're hoping to get a full game of baseball in here tonight, Zach. This is one of those games for the Toronto Maple Leafs where, you know, they feel like they've played a lot of really tough games at the beginning of the season. Well, the Welland Jackfish are one of those top teams, and if they could pull off a couple of wins against those top teams, Zach, beat some of the teams that are, you know, out of the playoff picture right now. That's kind of the plan for the Toronto Maple Leafs, but right now the focus is try and get a win against the Welland Jackfish at home. If you remember last time they played this team, it was a close game right until the 9th inning when they were here at Christie Pitts, and that one game against the Welland Jackfish ended up being a 6-2 loss. So they can play like they did that day, maybe just a little bit better. They can come away with the victory.
Yeah, again, it hasn't been the start to the year that the Maple Leafs have been wanting. Again, currently riding a 3-game losing streak. The record's sitting at 3-11. For the Jackfish, on the other hand, it's pretty much been what we saw from last year. A team that dominates with the offense, has the pitching to back it up, and, you know, for the Welland Jackfish, they've had a couple losses this season where it's kind of a head-scratcher. They had a loss to Brantford just a couple weeks ago, and, you know, you look at this team, they're coming off a victory from the Guelph Royals, a big blowout win in that one. We'll touch more on that, but, yeah, for the Jackfish, you come into Toronto, you want to try to continue staying on the right foot, to play your game. If you're Toronto, you're just trying to play spoiler, really, is what it is. The record's sitting at 3-11. Try to do whatever you can to play spoiler to a team like the Welland Jackfish.
I mean, we were pretty sure looking at the schedule at the beginning of the year that this was going to be the toughest stretch for the Toronto Maple Leafs that they just finished. They got a little bit of help because their last game was rained out in a game against Guelph. So the last game for the Maple Leafs was the back end of a 3-3 rather than a 4-4. And this was a game against the Barrie Baycats where it was really one swing of the bat on a grand slam off of Luis Florentino that turned around the game. Without that, I mean, this is a very tight game against the Barrie Baycats, one that the Toronto Maple Leafs thought they played well, they just got beat by a little bit better team.
Yeah, and I think when you look at the Maple Leafs and what they did in that ball game, things were looking better than they have in the previous couple of games. You were getting contributions from the pitching. The offense was starting to come around. There was a couple of really good swings throughout the lineup, but again, that one big slam, that was the difference maker in the ball game. So, you know, obviously now, if you're the Maple Leafs, all you're trying to do is just put together a more complete game. It feels like they have their moments where they're shining, things are looking good, then they have that one inning where they take their foot off the gas and things kind of explode on them. So if they can figure that out, clean that part of their game up, it'd be really good looking forward.
You know, I was listening to the latest edition of the CBL Changeup, and, you know, I thought there was an interesting point on there about the runs that were being put up in the league this year and the unbelievable 14 runs per game that we've been seeing to start this season. It's ridiculous. And, you know, I'm wondering if some of that is with the new import spots and, you know, players allowed to be paid and there being a professional league, if it's just a bigger skill gap between the top of the league and the bottom of the league. So you're seeing games where the Welland Jackfish take on a team where maybe the Guelph Royals aren't necessarily in that category because they're one of the higher payroll teams. But we've seen a lot of games this year like this, a 20-6 game where, you know, one team just dominates and the offense is so good that as soon as you go out there and, like, you know, Matthew Ward, for example, the catcher, ended up pitching in this game. When you roll out guys like that, these lineups are just too good to not capitalize on that. A lot of runs late in this ball game when it was kind of already over, but boy, what a decisive win it was last time out for Welland.
Yeah, and the game, you know, it was close for the first couple of innings. You know, through three innings, it was a 2-0 lead for the Guelph Royals, but then it just kind of felt the Royals, they just couldn't really find the strike zone. Elvin Liriano was having a lot of struggles, walked 6 batters in 3 1/3 innings pitched. Alfred Vega came in, he walked 2 batters. Garcia came in, 2 innings of work, he walked a batter. So it just kind of felt like the Guelph Royals pitching staff really wasn't there, but credit to the Welland Jackfish, they took advantage of that. They did a really good job of attacking those arms that were missing zones. They weren't chasing, they were making the pitchers come to them, and when they weren't, they were taking their walks and passing the baton down. And I think the most interesting thing to me is when I look at the standings, the Welland Jackfish, they have the best run differential in the entire league right now, and it really just shows that they have that really good mix of pitching and defense to their offense. Their offense is one of the best yet again here in the CBL.
Yeah, just one more highlight on that game as well. I mean, you look at the pitching that the Guelph Royals sent out. They sent Vega, who at the beginning of the season a lot of people thought was going to end up being their best pitcher. It hasn't panned out that way, but it's because he's run into teams like the Welland Jackfish who have just hit him. I mean, even Elvin Liriano, who's been a real bright spot in that rotation, he gives up a whole bunch of runs. And then the former major leaguer, the guy who's just dominated the league up until this year, in Edgar Garcia, the Maple Leafs got to him. The Welland Jackfish really got to him last game. I mean, this was a game where the Guelph Royals were throwing out starting pitchers because they had the game before that rained out. So they had all the arms in the world, and they still gave up 20 to this team. I mean, that's got to tell you something about how high-powered this Jackfish offense can be.
And to your point, really, just about the league now this year, there is that different feel to it where the offense is just so much better. I mean, it feels like teams have just gotten deeper. You see the starting lineup right there for the Welland Jackfish, and really 1 through 9, even for the Jackfish, it's a team that can hit the ball, make contact. You see Abe down there in the 9 spot. He's been the prototypical leadoff guy for this Welland Jackfish team basically the entire year. Gio Morella has been in that 9 spot, but when you have those guys just mixed with the order, you have guys hitting for power and for an average like Weisner, Smybert, Gideon, and Mullen. I mean, it's just really tremendous stuff up and down the lineup. And the offensive output in the league this year has just been such a big difference maker. Yeah,
Weisner, Morello, Mann at the top of the lineup. Smybert, Gideon, Mully in the middle 3. And then Brendan Luther, Hupe, and Abe is the bottom of the lineup for the Welland Jackfish. Just keying in there on one of the guys that's been really hot, an 8-game hit streak for Ethan Mann. 32 at-bats over that 8-game hit streak. He's hitting .500, 3 home runs, 16 RBI, 16 hits in his last 32 at-bats. I mean, he's the hottest hitter in the league right now.
Yeah, he's been loving seeing the baseball come his way. Really, just since coming into the Welland Jackfish this season, he's done everything you could ask for. Just tremendous stuff out of the young man from Plano, Texas. His rookie season as well. 26-year-old comes in, and well, the Jackfish, they have a really good, keen eye for talent, and well, they spotted talent when they saw him.
Brando Leroux is the shortstop day for the Toronto Maple Leafs. He's leading things off. Crix Tavares is at first base, batting second. Yasiel Puig, Zach, it feels like every game that Yasiel Puig dominates, the Maple Leafs end up winning. Wonder if that's a key to success again today. J.J. Dutton is the cleanup batter. Dennis DeBanning in left field. He's batting fifth. Marcus Connect batting sixth. The bottom 3 in the order: Jordan Mandalay, who's the second baseman; Spencer Ross, who's at third; Matt Brandt doing the catching as he does every single game so far for the Maple Leafs this season. You know, this is a lineup where I look at 2 of those guys in the middle with Marcus Connect and Dennis DeBanning, and Puig's the X factor, I think. You know, he's a guy who just has the power to win baseball games flat out. That's basically how it's worked. Like, he's had 3 really, really good games for the Maple Leafs this season. That's the 3 games that they've won. I mean, if you look back, the very first game of the season, hits 2 home runs. That wins the game for the Maple Leafs. They play a game against London, hits his 3rd home run of the season. Maple Leafs win. Then they win a game in Kitchener, which is their only road win this year. Yasiel Puig had 3 hits in that game. But I just want to look at the guys hitting behind him, because we know Puig's going to do what he's going to do. But if it's Dennis DeBanning and Marcus Connect, if they can get the bats going like they had at the beginning of the season, that would help the Maple Leafs a lot.
And I think the addition to me of Brando Leroux has been so interesting, not only for the defensive side, but for his bat as well. You know, it's not a guy that's going to put up light tower power numbers for you, but at the same time, he'll give you a professional at bat. He'll work counts for you. And to your point, Marcus Connect, Dennis DeBanning, they were 2 guys that you needed to rely on heavily behind Yasiel Puig. And now with those 2 struggling to figure out, you know, their approach at the plate, that's going to happen through a long season. Ups and downs happen when it comes to offense, but those guys, they need to figure it out, because once they're rolling, that helps Puig as well. Once, you know, the supporting cast around the team is just hitting again, you know, the Maple Leafs, they'll start finding their success.
Let's take a look at the defensive alignment today for the Toronto Maple Leafs. The aforementioned Dennis DeBanning is in left field, J.J. Dutton in center. Yasiel Puig is the right fielder today, has been excellent defensively. Spencer Ross at third, Brando Leroux at short, Jordan Mandalay at second base. Crix Tavares, who's been one of the newcomers to this Maple Leafs team, still just starting out his Maple Leafs time. And the catcher today is Matt Brandt. We're going to take a quick break and be right back after the national anthems. Toronto Maple Leafs taking on the Welland Jackfish today. Zach, they got a great start from Nick Veselinovic last time out. Boy, he was fantastic in the game against the Kitchener Panthers. The Maple Leafs won that game. Veselinovic just gave up the 2 earned runs. Boy, he's been a real bright spot in that starting rotation this year for the Maple Leafs.
Yeah, some would say he's been really the solidified ace of the rotation so far. Early on in the season, he faced Barrie twice, only went 5 innings in that one, and he gave up a combined 3 runs going through 5 innings. But, I mean, look at what he did against Guelph. 4 innings pitched, only 3 runs. But the thing that stands out to me is those strikeout numbers. He has been so good when it comes to striking batters out and limiting damage with the walks. You know, they've influxed in a couple of games, but for the most part, he's kept those walk numbers down, and he's been a solid lefty arm here for the Maple Leafs.
Yeah, so he had a great outing against Kitchener. Now he's on this new mound here, or a different mound, I should say, in Toronto. The question is, I guess, can he adapt to that and be as effective as he was last time out?
Yeah, and I think that's all you can really hope for, is that he brings that kind of same mindset of just attacking these hitters that he had in Kitchener. Again, the Kitchener Panthers, a team that they have a lot of power as well, but maybe not to the extent of the Welland Jackfish. But if you're Veselinovic, you just hope that you can kind of have some of your A stuff going today.
Yeah, I guess this is kind of the test to see, you know, great start last time out. Is this the real deal? Can he be, you know, the number 1 or number 2 starter? I mean, right now it's him and Wilhelmus Alvarado, right, who are the starting rotations for the Toronto Maple Leafs. Cam Demigian is still kind of finding his footing in the Canadian Baseball League. He's had good stuff his first time out, but his first 2 times out, just hasn't quite been able to get batters out at the clip that the Maple Leafs want. But Veselinovic, this is going to be a big start that will tell the Maple Leafs a lot about if they're going to end up being a playoff team this year, because they are going to need Veselinovic, who's solidified himself now as one of those starting rotation pieces for the Toronto Maple Leafs. So Jonah Weisner is leading things off for the Welland Jackfish. He's the second baseman today. Here's the first pitch from Veselinovic, and it's on the outside corner for a strike. Nick Veselinovic, 23 years old, from Windsor, Ontario. The 0-1 pitch, that one's fouled off. Jonah Weisner is hitting .410 to start this season, which is a big part of why he's been promoted to the leadoff spot for the Jackfish this year. Here's the 0-2. And strike 3 called on the outside corner. Good start for Veselinovic. 3 pitches, gets the punch out on Weisner.
Again, we know Veselinovic has that strikeout stuff, executes it perfectly right there. He went with 1 pitch on the inner half and then really just kind of picked the corner both times. Once with an off speed, the last time there looked like a fastball that just sniped the corner. Really good pitch there from 33.
Longtime Welland Jackfish Gio Morello hitting in the number 2 spot today. Started out his career, played a couple of games with the Maple Leafs way back in the 2015 season, and Played for Brantford, and he's been with the Jackfish since 2022, so he's won both Welland Jackfish championships in the league. Here's the first pitch to Morello, and he bunts it straight in the air, and it goes back behind home plate.
It was about halfway up the hill.
Yeah, got a lot on that bunt and just missed it, so he's behind in the count. Morello hitting .327 this year, right about on par. He's a .308 career hitter in the Inter-County Baseball League.
It's so lethal when you have players that have just such good career numbers in the CBL. Morello's one of those guys, but you know he's not even batting leadoff. You have a guy who's 5th in the league in average. Wisner that leads off. Wisner also leads the league in doubles, 2nd in the league in RBIs. It's just a team with so much offensive depth.
Throwback from Matt Brandt got away from Veselinovic, so he's going to recalibrate on the mound. There's the 1-2. This one's hit pretty well in the air to center field, and this one is one hop up against the wall, picked up by J.J. Dutton. He's going to whip this ball back in quickly. It skips away, but luckily right there was Crix Tavares backing up the play. That's a double for Gio Morello here with one out in the first.
Really good job there by Dutton to play that off the wall the way he did. Gets it back in quick. Really didn't have a chance getting the speedy runner in Morello going to second, but just, again, a very good job overall fielding that ball and holding Morello there at second.
So Gio Morello is speedy, and he's on base for the hottest hitter right now in the league, batting .500 over his last 8 games. Ethan Mann, and fouls the first pitch off. Mann hitting for power, but the biggest number is that he's driven in 16 runs in his last 8. Ethan Mann, as you may have expected, also feasted off of that 20-6 victory that the Jackfish had last time out, had 3 hits in the game. Here's the 0-1, and Mann hits this ball in the air to left, and right in his tracks is Dennis DeBanning, who makes the catch, and Morello will have to hold his ground at second. That is a big out for Veselinovic to get here in this first inning.
Really good job pitching right there by Veselinovic, because you throw it on the inside on the hands, you kind of jam up Mann there, and that just doesn't allow him to get fully extended. It looks like he got a piece of it. You know, if he's able to get more of the barrel, we know that he has the power.
James Smybert, the third baseman, comes to the plate now. And the first pitch is just outside, ball 1. Matt Brandt has been a workhorse back there behind the plate for the Toronto Maple Leafs, catching every single game this season. Luckily, we hear that help is on the way, though. Next week, the Maple Leafs are going to get Dionysius Chialtis in the mix.
Well, big welcome back there.
Here's the 2-0. That one finds the zone. Two and 1 on the Jackfish third baseman. Again, tons of speed at second base. Gio Morello will easily score on a well-placed single. The 1-2 pitch up and in, and Smybert had to get his elbows out of the way of that one as it buzzed the tower a bit. First base is open right now, although Justin Gideon is the batter on deck, and he's starting to heat up a little bit for the Jackfish. And that one's outside, ball 4. It was close. Matt Brandt, you could see by his reaction, he really wanted it. So there's 2 on now for Gideon. Yeah, pretty close pitch there on the outside corner. Justin getting a huge swing at the first pitch and comes up empty, 0-1.
Yeah, he had a massive 9-game hit streak going until he came and faced the Maple Leafs on June 17th. He went 0-3 in that ball game, and since then he's gone on a 3-game hit streak.
Yeah, you know, I think when this season is all said and done, Justin Gideon's going to be hitting 300, and he's probably going to be one of the most valuable players in the league. But I will say, I mean, even over the hit streak, I mean, there's like some 1-for-6s in there, 1-for-4s. This is a player he has more in the tank than that. Another big swing and a miss from Justin Gideon. Vasilinovic works out of some trouble in the first inning, and we are scoreless here in Toronto with the Maple Leafs bats coming up.
What I look for in Rawlings is a combination of things. Something that will kind of maintain for a long period of time. I've had a lot of success with Rawlings over the years.
What I like about my Rawlings glove is the feel. The feel is everything.
It's good to get that feel in your hands, and when you have a Rawling, it's more easy to catch.
Weight goes a long way, and I feel like Rawlings does a really good job of getting you top of the line leather.
As far as the leather, I usually stick to Pro Preferred.
I've actually always used Pro Preferred. I loved it from the start, so I'm kind of a guy, if I like something, I usually don't change it. So since the first day I signed with Rawlings, I've been using Pro Preferred.
What I like about my Rawlings glove is it's always felt the same. And it never falls apart. It feels good every single day I put it on my hand. And it's a mark of a pro.
Well, back here at Dominico Field, Yoylan Quinones getting the start here today for the Welland Jackfish. Pitched last time against the Toronto Maple Leafs in that 6-2 victory for Welland. And it's Brando Leroux leading things off.
Yeah, he's appeared in 3 games, like you mentioned, the one on the May 31st against the Maple Leafs, 5 innings, no earned runs allowed, 3 strikeouts. And he's pitched twice against the Chatham-Kent Barnstormers as well.
This one's up the middle for a base hit. Brando Leroux leads off the ball game for the Maple Leafs with a sharp hit single up the middle.
Just to finish this thought there on the 2 games against Chatham-Kent, he went 5 innings in the first game, got the loss, allowed 4 runs, and then in the second game on June 18th, he went 4 innings, gave up 4 runs there as well. Doesn't walk a lot of batters. He only walked 4 so far on the season. He has 12 strikeouts as well, so the strikeout stuff is there.
Yeah, for a guy like Quinones, I mean, man, he's in some tough competition in that starting rotation for the Jackfish, as this one's fouled off by Crix Tavares off to the left. I mean, you think about guys like Yulcides Layer. Boy, is he ever a good pitcher this season? Tio Ortega. This is and of course Ben Abram as well. This is a good rotation for the Jackfish. Big key to their success this season.
Yeah, the starter ERA is 3.74. It has been remarkable stuff.
The 0-1 to Tavares. And he fouls it off to the left. Crix Tavares hitting .375, although very small sample size to start the year. He did have 2 hits last time at Christie Pitts. The former Point Park Pioneer looks like he's going to be a nice fit to this lineup. They kind of had a mixed bag of people starting at first base, whether it was Matt Fabian or Kirk Gibson. And then, of course, the plan at the beginning of the year was have Mike Cicchetto as the first baseman. But, of course, he was injured. I'm hearing that he's getting pretty close to being back. Here's the 0-2 to Tavares. And that one's down and in. Brando Leroux took a couple of steps like he was going to take off on that pitch, Zach. It would have been a good pitch to do it. So that one was down in the dirt.
A couple of these, early season acquisitions for the Maple Leafs have been pretty solid. You talked about the guy that's standing at the plate in Tavares, but also the guy at first base in Brando Leroux.
1-2. Fouled off again. Tavares had a nice battle here with Quinones. The 1-2 pitch. Strike 3 called. Throw down to second base, and it's not in time. Stolen base for Brando Leroux, but an out is recorded on the strikeout.
Yeah, just a tough one there. Leroux swipes the bag, but if you're Tavares, obviously in that situation, you want to try to protect anything close.
Always a positive when you can get a runner in scoring position for Yasiel Puig. Doesn't matter how many outs there are, he is a threat to get a hit. Here's the first pitch to Yasiel. And he swings at it and pops it up. This one is not going to get the job done. It's an infield pop-up to Brendan Luther, the shortstop, and there's 2 away. And you can see that one kind of stung the hands of Puig as he's ringing them out on his way back to the bench.
Yeah, he knew he just missed that one, kind of slammed the bat down afterwards. He understands his zone and what pitches to swing at, and that was just one of them where he says he wish he could take it back and just kind of let that one go.
Good pitch by Quinones, though. That's an important out right there. And if you can get Yasiel Puig on 1 out, I mean, boy, that just sets you up for success later on. Now it's J.J. Dutton. First pitch looked like the same one that was thrown to Yasiel Puig on the outside corner for a strike. Dutton takes it, trying to avoid the efficient inning. Quinones, despite the single by Brando Leroux, is only 8 pitches into this outing. Leroux's going. Dutton hits one on the ground. Fair ball down the first base line. Brando Leroux's going to come in to score. J.J. Dutton with an impressive piece of hitting to keep that ball fair. And the Maple Leafs take a 1-0 lead.
That right there is just kind of just throw the hands out at it and just kind of hope that it works. That's exactly what Dutton does. He just lets his hands go and he just punches it right down the first base line. It looked more like a protection swing for Leroux taking off for third, and he just kind of got lucky and just punched it down the line.
Man, if you can get a hit on that pitch, you can pretty much hit anything. J.J. Dutton has been excellent for the Maple Leafs this season. Now here's Dennis DeManning. It wasn't even like the first baseman, Ethan Mann, was playing very far off the line. They were really respecting the ability of J.J. Dutton to do something like that, but he just hit it in the perfect spot. Now he's on the move. Throw down to second, and he swipes it. Not even close. J.J. Dutton, how about that?
Yeah, doing a little bit of everything here is Dutton. He gets the RBI, and he swipes the bag. I coined the phrase for him that he runs like he's angry at the ground, and I'm glad to see that he still hasn't changed that ability. He still runs just super aggressive.
Here's the 2-0. Zach obviously very descriptive with that comment, but in the end result is just he's really fast.
Yeah.
Yeah. Here's the 2-1. Yeah, he's not the most conventional player out there. Even hits like that happens for J.J. Dutton. He's plays the game, thinks the game a little differently. Always refreshing to watch him out there. Here's the 3-1 pitch. And that one's ball 4. Maple Leafs keep this inning going. Remember, we talked about how this looked like it was turning into a pretty efficient inning for Quinones, but now the Maple Leafs making him throw some pitches, driving in a run.
And I think that's really good for Dennis DeBanning, a guy who was swinging the bat very, very well to start the year. He's gone a little bit cold here over the last stretch, but there, he's seen the ball really well out of Quinones's hand. He's patient, he's not chasing, and he works himself a walk.
Here's Marcus Connect hitting .240 on the season for the Maple Leafs. And he kind of hits this one off the fist, flipped to second by James Smybert, and that will end the inning as he goes the short way to get the out. Maple Leafs score a run. J.J. Dutton, an unconventional hit, keep one fair down the line. Brando Leroux was on the move, so he came in to score. It's Toronto with a 1-0 lead over the Jackfish as we head to the second. One-0 lead for the Maple Leafs here in the top of the second inning. Robert Mullen is going to come to the dish, doing the catching today for the Jackfish. Nick Veselinovic got in a little bit of trouble in the first, but was able to work out of it beautifully with a punch out. Mullen has big power, just the 2 home runs so far on the year. Here's the 0-1. Mullen hits one high in the air. J.J. Dutton over, and he makes the catch, one away.
Good communication between Dutton and DeBanning there. You can kind of hear both of them calling for it, and then Dutton taking command as the center fielder, calling off DeBanning.
I have to think this is a good opportunity, this game, for Robert Mullen to get back on the scoreboard and the home run charts. He was in the home run derby last year in that all-star game that was in Hamilton. And I remember I just felt like he was one of the guys that could have won it, but there was just a huge wind blowing in from left field, and everything that he hit was just getting knocked down. I would have liked to see him have a better chance at it.
Well, he's a guy that's had tons of power in this league. Look at his year in 2022 with London when he debuted. He had 15 home runs. Last year with the Jackfish had 11.
Yeah, it's the Chatham-Kent Barnstormers who are taking the home run crown this year. They've got 3 of them in the top 5. Here's a little check swing tapper to third. Spencer Ross has it, flips to first in plenty of time. Out number 2.
Designated hitter number 21, Brandon Leroux.
Now this is Brandon Leroux, who's the DH in this one. Leroux, a little check swing at the first pitch for strike 1.
Another team to mention in that home run totals is the Barrie Baycats. They have 7 more than anybody else in the league.
Yeah, now that's impressive. Now, if it's the Maple Leafs who are leading the league in home runs or the Chatham-Kent Barnstormers, it kind of makes sense because they've got the ballpark advantage. Kitchener in that conversation as well. Barrie's, it's a pretty deep park out there. It's not the hardest to hit home runs, but, you know, I've been to a couple of Barrie Baycats games, especially on those cold nights or like those cooler nights in the summer. It kind of, there's like a lot of kind of swampy area around, and you just kind of get that cool mist. It sort of knocks the ball down late at night.
I think the biggest thing is the man that leads the league is Kenise Ijo.
And there's strike 3 called from Nick Veselinovic. He was perfect in that inning. Gets through an efficient frame, keeps the Maple Leafs in front, 1-0.
Everyone dreams of being great. Only a select few can be iconic. But only one is chosen. Introducing the Chosen One from Rawlings. The all-new one-piece composite iteration of the top-rated and established Icon BB Core bat.
Some of the home run leaders right now in the Canadian Baseball League. Kenise Ijo has 8. He's been the class of the league so far. You were talking about the Barrie Baycats home runs. Boy, he's a big part of them being so successful in that department.
Yeah, he was a guy that wasn't on the team last year. He I believe, went over towards the Frontier League. He didn't find the success he was hoping, came back this year. And if you see him on social media, he always talks about the comeback story and the comeback season, and he really is doing that right now in Barrie. I mean, he is playing some tremendous baseball right now. He has shot himself up that list of home runs. He wasn't on it initially, and then something just clicked, and he's been hitting the ball awfully hard.
Quinona is out for his second inning of work. There's a strike to Jordan Mandalay.
When you look at the team leaders in batting, it's basically the Welland Jackfish above everybody else. They have the most runs scored. They're up there. We're in the middle of the pack with home runs. Top in RBIs, 141. Then the one that interested me the most, they are actually leading the league by a pretty wide margin in hit by pitch.
Yeah, a lot of those came in their last game in that win against Guelph.
And another thing, stolen bases. They have 62 as a team. Next closest is Kitchener with 43.
Yeah, so I was just talking to Gus Cousins in the break, and he brought up a good point. So the Welland Jackfish have already given up 2 stolen bases in the first inning, gave up 6 of those in that game against Guelph. Now, it didn't really matter because they won the game 20-6, but that's kind of a storyline to keep an eye on as well, as the Maple Leafs and Brando Leroux and J.J. Dutton, they've been running, and you know, the Maple Leafs are starting to up their game a little bit in terms of the analytics department. Maybe they're starting to pick something up a little bit on stealing bags on the Jackfish. Here's a chopper to third base. Smybert cuts it off, throws to first in time, and that's out number 1. Should mention as well, they played against Quinones right here at Christie Pitts a couple weeks ago where they lost that game, but wonder if they picked up some data in that outing as well with maybe the, you know, his move to the plate, whether he's fast or slow, if they have a tell on his pickoff move, something to keep an eye on as this game goes on.
You got a bunch of guys that are capable of stealing bases. You mentioned Brando Leroux, J.J. Dutton. You also have Dennis DeBanning in that conversation as well.
Spencer Ross takes a strike at the knees. Now takes high, 1-1. Just saw James Smybert make that play at third base. Brendan Luther is at short. Jonah Weisner at second. Ethan Mann, the first baseman today for the Jackfish. Robert Mullen doing the catching. Ross hits one right back to Quinones. He snares it. Underhand flip to first base, and that's the second out of the inning. Daike Abe is out in left. Gio Morello in center. Justin Gideon in right. This is the number 9 hitter and catcher for the Maple Leafs, Matt Brandt.
Matt Brandt, the workhorse, as you've already said. He's appeared in every single game and he's always behind the dish no matter what.
Brandt swings and misses. Yeah, he's starting to find his footing a little bit in the Canadian Baseball League as well, hitting .217 on the season. Picked up a hit in the Maple Leafs last game against the Barrie Bay Cats. Also just putting the ball in play a lot, which has been helpful for the Maple Leafs, is Matt Brandt. Doesn't strike out much. Ahead in the count here on Quinones. Pretty good pitch there on the inside corner.
Yeah, it'd be big here if Brandt could flip the order back to the top for Leroux, Tavares, and Puig.
Here's the 2-2. Swung on and fouled back. Zach, you had mentioned early in the game that Quinones has pretty good control and likes to throw a lot of strikes. He just doesn't walk anybody. Well, early in the ballgame, the Maple Leafs have been swinging early in the count. They're not really waiting around. They're trying to do damage early. The 2-2 to Brandt. And he fouls it off again. So you look at at-bats like this, and that's helpful because when you swing early, sometimes you get out early. And you never want to let that starting pitcher get into the 7th, 8th inning, especially against the Welland Jackfish, because they happen to also kind of have one of the best bullpens in the Canadian Baseball League this year as well. 2-2 pitch on the hands of Brandt. He flares one out to left, and Abe comes in and makes the catch. And that will end the inning. The Maple Leafs will have the top of the order coming up in the 3rd. But first, the Welland Jackfish get a chance in the top half of the 3rd inning. Well, Zach, playing defense in the Canadian Baseball League at Christie Pitts is not easy. Brando Leroux has done a really good job about it. I talked about him earlier, and he made an interesting point. He said, take reps and warm-ups serious. If not, the ball will eat you up. I was, down on the field earlier today. His dad was actually hitting him ground balls and hitting the rest of the team ground balls as well. And they were all taking those reps really serious. I mean, that is a big part of playing here at Christie Pitts. Guys on the other side, like Brendan Luther, who's the shortstop today, will know that as well as anyone that, some of the hops are a bit different here at Christie Pitts, and it's really important to, when you're taking your warm-ups earlier in the game, play like it's actually in the game, because you're going to get a funny hop that you might have been able to experience in warm-ups that would prepare you.
Yeah, players know that sometimes you can get the Christie hop, and obviously Leroux, he's flashed the leather already a couple times this season, doing a good job manning shortstop here for the Maple Leafs.
Number 9 hitter, and Abe is at the dish.
This was an interesting move for me, seeing Abe moved out of that leadoff spot. He has been so good in the leadoff spot for the Welland Jackfish. It was kind of something that happened just about a week or so ago. And the reasoning, they just wanted to try to shake things up. They thought the offense was getting a little bit stale. And they moved Abe down. And it's kind of just like having a second leadoff guy in that number 9 spot. He is so good at just flipping the order back to the top.
Here's the 2-1 from Veselinovic. He just missed with a pitch. And now that one finds the inside corner. Welzak to that point. Abe's hitting .319. Right now in the starting lineup for the Jackfish, that's at a below average batting average. That does not cut it for the top of the order right now for the Jackfish. That's how well they're hitting. This one back to the mound. Might have got a piece of the glove of Veselinovic. Long throw to first base is in time. Oh, great play by Jordan Mandalay at second. I think he had to deal with a little deflection off of the glove of Veselinovic. And he makes a strong play to start off this third inning.
First things first, Veselinovic, he almost has on the backhand, but Mandalay, who is so sure-handed in the infield, makes another tremendous stop. He shifted over to second base when the Maple Leafs acquired Leroux, and that midfield duo has been so fun to watch here at Christie Pitts.
So last game against the Baycats, Jordan Mandalay had a play just like that. Didn't have to deal with whatever it hit on the mound. I don't know if it hit the glove or if it hit the rubber or something, but I think we can agree that both took an interesting hop off of the mound. As this one's fouled back by Weisner. He missed it. The ball kicked off into center field. That was last game. Just like that, early in this game against the Jackfish, has a second chance at it. And if you give Jordan Mandalay 2 chances at just about any play, he's going to make at least one of them. So nice little bit of defensive redemption there for Jordan. Here's the 1-1 here on the leadoff hitter, Jonah Weisner. Strike 2.
Yeah, this is a player in Jonah Weisner. I mentioned his numbers earlier, batting .410 on the year. He's up there in the league lead in RBIs, second, only behind Grayson Barrett. He has 28, 34 hits, which is also second, and he leads the league in doubles with 7.
Which makes it all the more impressive that Veselinovic came out and got him on 3 pitches to start the ball game. Weisner was very late on that swing there on the breaking ball. Now another breaking ball in the dirt from Veselinovic. The count's 2-2. He's putting up a better fight this time in this at-bat.
Looks like he's just seeing the breaking ball better out of the hand of Veselinovic the second time around.
Check swing, didn't matter. Strike 3 called. Veselinovic gets him twice.
And I mentioned that about the breaking ball, and he just sees it yet again, but this time it had a little bit more break on it. Veselinovic just picking that outside corner right now.
He's dealing right now for the Maple Leafs. Continuing the momentum from his last start, maybe even building on it a little bit. He's looked sharp in the early going. Here's the number 2 hitter, Gio Morello. Strike 1, perfect pitch over the outside corner.
Well, one time through the order, and the only person that really did the damage was Gio Morello, and it was that double to the wall, but nothing came of it afterwards.
This pitch in the dirt, 1-1 now. Yasiel Puig playing way back in right field here. There's the 1-1. Fouled off.
Yeah, big fan right now of the way that Veselinovic is pitching this team here. The lefties, he's making it difficult on them, just picking that outside corner. And all the righties, it looked like he's just been jamming them up, not really letting them get their hands extended.
This one slashed down the line, foul onto the hill. Gio Morello just a little bit late on that outside pitch by Veselinovic, who's ahead in the count again. That's been something we can say a lot in this game for him. The 1-2. On the ground, Ross has it, drops it, now picks it up. Long throw to first, in time. Nice play there by Spencer Ross at third base. Boy, he was taking those reps and warm-up serious. It pays off with a nice play over to first. Maple Leafs leading 1-0. Nick Veselinovic cruising right now against Welland. Barrie Baycats in first place right now in the Canadian Baseball League. The Welland Jackfish, Zach, trying to just inch their way back into the top spot. They're only a couple games out of that top spot, but you know, did you expect the Jackfish to be a little bit higher up in the standings to start the season?
I kind of expected the top three to look like this. Did I think London would be as hot as they have been? No.
Yeah.
I think that's been the big factor as of late. I mean, London has been one of the hottest teams in CBL this season.
Yeah.
Tremendous stuff out there by the majors. Barrie, we know always they've been that kind of perennial team that gets to the playoffs, is at the top of the standings. Welland Jackfish coming off the season they had last year. You kind of expect them to be at the top there, but yeah, the top three, I would not have expected Welland to be in third.
Here's the 2-0 to Brando Leroux, scoring to bunt and took a strike. I think the talk about the Jackfish not being in first place is just totally overblown. I mean, come on, they're 11-7. They have great offensive numbers. I think you made a good point there. It's just the Baycats and majors have just been really good this year, and you can basically just boil it down to 3 wins that the Barrie Baycats had against the Jackfish. Just barn burner games. Both teams scored like 10 runs every single time, and the Jackfish just didn't come out on top in those games, but they were right there the whole time.
Well, the biggest thing I think of when I look at the standings, it's just, you know, whatever early season slumps happened or surges, everything kind of just goes back. The law of averages always kind of plays a factor.
A 3-2 pitch. Brando Leroux hits this ball in the air to center field. Back goes Gio Morello. He's at the wall, makes the catch at the top of the wall. About a foot away from being a dead center field home run for Brando Leroux, as he heads back to the dugout with a painful out number 1.
Gio Morello, he is so good at patrolling center field. Just put it on display there yet again. Tracks it the whole way through, and Brando Leroux, one more push-up and he probably has that ball sailing over the fence.
Yeah, last time Welland was here, Morello made a bit of a circus catch actually out there in center field. He didn't need to that time as the ball was just hit so high in the air and he was able to scamper back to the wall. Actually, I think it was on Yasiel Puig last time he was on deck. But that ball, I mean, I think you probably saw it on the broadcast because I was looking at that too to track down that play, but his glove was right up against the batter's eye and probably less than a foot from being at the top of the wall.
Oh, easily.
One and one count here on Crix Tavares. Takes a strike. Quinones has had a lot of success early in this game with the breaking ball in to left-handed batters. Not something you see every day.
A lot of deep counts as well to a lot of these batters.
Here's the 1-1. On the ground, fair ball at third base. Throw to first by Smybert, and it kicks out of the glove of Ethan Mann. Tavares is going to reach first base with Puig coming to the plate.
Well, that's why you always run it out the 90 feet. You never know what's going to happen there. We'll probably go down in air, I believe, on the first baseman. Could go towards Smybert. We'll see what they put it down as, but
I think he had to. Did he have to pick it at first? It was close.
he did have to pick it. And he got the ball, and then when he came through with the glove, it just kind of went out of it.
Yeah, we see that get called an infield hit a lot
Yeah.
in the Canadian Baseball League, so that's probably what's going to go down as. Pitch up and in here to Puig.
I'll tell you right now, there's probably two guys that are okay with that and one guy that isn't. The two fielders are fine with it. The pitcher says, no, that's an error.
Unless he gets out of the inning here.
Exactly.
Oh, what the fuck?
2-0 now on Yasiel, who always has a different expression on his face when he comes up to the plate.
I think he also has a different bat this time around.
Might have broke it. Might have broke the last one. It was
I
right
think
off the
that's
end
what
of the bat. Here's the 2-0. Runner goes, and a perfect throw to get Tavares. Oh, that time Crix Tavares did not get a very good jump. The throw was really good from Robert Mullen behind the plate, but I don't know. Yasiel Puig might be a bit frustrated with having his RBI opportunity off the board now.
Yeah, it looked like Tavares was just trying to spark something, and it's a tough go right there for the Maple Leafs. You just can't make those kind of mental errors on the base paths.
Pitch down the middle for a strike. 3-1 now on Puig. Nobody on base. Big caught stealing to take the danger away for the Jackfish. 2-2, or 3-1 pitch, I should say, swung on and missed. 3-2 now. The full count to Puig, and he takes low, ball 4. So he heads down to first base. Maple Leafs have 2 outs in the inning. J.J. Dutton coming to the plate. He's going to have to do something a little differently than he did last time to get Yasiel Puig home. His last at-bat reached out, hit a ball that was like a foot outside the strike zone, got an RBI single down the line. And he gets hit by that one. So J.J. Dutton will head down to first base. Now, hindsight 2020, and Crix Tavares never could have predicted the future, but if he had stayed at first base there, this might be bases loaded with just the one out for the Maple Leafs.
Yeah, obviously it's a tough situation considering how the inning is unfolded, but you know what? All you got to do is just got to brush it off and move on. It's the only thing you can do here in this situation. Just hope that Dennis DeBanning can come up with a big hit here for the Maple Leafs.
He's certainly come up with his fair share of those this season for the Maple Leafs. Takes first pitch high. Although it's been a couple of games since we've seen a big swing from Dennis DeBanning. Hitting .289 on the season, walked in his last at-bat. 1-0 pitch is just in a good spot. You know, sometimes when you're slumping a little bit at the plate, it's just every pitch seems to be like right there on the corner. I think the ball was just finding the barrel of DeBanning's bat early in the season. Here's the 1-1 pitch, check swing, and there's another example, just a perfect pitch from Quinones.
Yeah, he picked the corner with a fastball, and then the second one, he just kind of went even further with an off speed, and that just made DeBanning chase it. Puig trying to signal to DeBanning. There's a hole on the right side. Use it.
The 1-2. Dennis pops this one up, On the infield, it's sky high, and it's the center fielder calling everybody off. Gio Morello makes the catch. That'll end the inning. The Maple Leafs continue to lead 1-0 over the Jackfish as we head to the fourth.
Guys, over there.
Back here in Toronto in the top of the fourth inning. Ethan Mann, who's been red hot leading things off, and now he gets into this one high and deep and gone. Make that 4 home runs in his last 9, extends the hitting streak to 9 games as well, and the Jackfish have tied this thing up in the fourth.
Well, you mentioned he's been the hottest hitter over the last 8, and, well, he just elevates the ball there and opposite field drive over the Metal Monster.
I mean, it's not the farthest porch out there in right, but it's a tall wall, and you got to really get into a ball to hit it on a, well, not on a line, but low like that, hitting it the opposite way. That's just a sign of a guy that's red hot at the dish. He's just been hitting everything for the Jackfish.
Yeah, just seeing the ball extremely well, and it doesn't matter if it's on the outside half of the plate or, you know, if it's over the inside. He's just going to hit the ball hard every single time.
I don't think that was a bad pitch by Nick Veselinovic. I think that was a pretty good piece of hitting there by Ethan Mann. Here's the 1-1. And I mean, Veselinovic also did get, like, he could have got really lucky there. If that ball had hit the top of the wall with Puig out there right, it's probably a single. One and two on Smybert. That pitch in the dirt. Unnecessary, but really good block there from Matt Brandt behind the dish. All about the fundies behind the plate.
Of course. Got to keep the fundamentals solid.
Veselinovic's 2-2. This one's fouled straight back, just short of the broadcast booth.
Still flashbacks to the one that smoked me in the ankle.
I got a bad read on that one. I honestly thought that was coming right to us. Another 2-2. Strike 3 called. Great breaking ball from Veselinovic. Freezes Smybert for out number 1.
Well, the stuff's been there today by Veselinovic. It's another strikeout for him. His 5th in 3 1/3 innings pitched.
Now, this is one of his strikeout victims. It was a big one back in the first inning. Justin Gideon got him to end the frame. First pitch to him misses low and away. Nick Veselinovic stands about as far on his right side of the mound as you possibly can. Swing and a miss by Gideon. Boy, he's had success going upstairs on Justin. Like, I don't think that Veselinovic could stand any further over to our left on that side of the mound, eh?
Oh, yeah.
This one a little bit lower into the strike zone. A line drive snagged by Dennis DeBanning out there and left. It's out number 2.
Like how Veselinovic has answered back after that home run by Ethan Mann. You settle down, you get a strikeout looking, and then you just get a line out right there by Gideon. Now it's a big test because you got Robert Mullen coming up.
Yeah, Justin Gideon looks a little bit frustrated on his way back to the dugout. It's not like that was a particularly well-hit ball or anything, but, I mean, you inside out a ball like that. How often does that find a bit of grass out there in the outfield? The 0-1 pitch. This one's hit on the ground to short. Eats up Brando Leroux. Picks it up. Whips a throw to first. And he still got him. Oh, the strong arm from Brando Leroux makes up for the slight bobble at shortstop, and that'll end the inning. Veselinovic does surrender the home run to Ethan Mann, but everyone's surrendering home runs to him this season. 1-1 ball game here at Christie Pitts. Well, Marcus Connect is going to lead things off for the Maple Leafs here in the bottom of the 4th inning. Ethan Mann's home run in the top half of the 4th has tied things up. A lot of production out of that first base spot this year. Jackfish are getting. Connect swings at the first pitch and fouls it off down to the right.
Connect was sat down his first at-bat with the fielder's choice. That was all the way back in the 1st inning.
Here's the 0-1 pitch. Marcus takes just outside. Marcus Connect is not playing in the field today. He's the designated hitter. The 1-1. Takes low again and now finds himself ahead in the count. A lot of breaking balls from Quinones in this start. That has been something that we see pitchers throw a lot to connect over his career. Here's the 2-1 pitch. And Connect pops this one up. It may stay in fair territory. Now it starts to drift out of play. Bounces foul by a couple of feet.
I don't know what was better, one of the kids jumping off the bleachers or the adult laying out for it.
Just in case you were wondering, he did give it to one of the kids. He did give it to one of the kids later. But
that was amazing effort. 10 out of 10 on the effort there.
Good hustle, yeah.
Definitely the first diving player of the year for him.
Here's the 2-2. Strike 3 called on the outside corner. Marcus Connect goes down looking. So I'll bring Jordan Mandalay to the dish with nobody out. Mandalay hitting 278 on the season.
Every time you look, it kind of seems like Mandalay, that average is slowly creeping back up to around that 300 area. Started the season, it was kind of iffy. It was up and down. He was hot then cold, hot then cold.
Yeah.
And then he started getting a little bit more consistent with the at-bats. Went through another cold spout, but he's trying to turn things around here again.
Here's the 1-0. High chopper back to the mound. Quinones Fields whips to first, and that records out number 2. And just one hit in the last 14 at-bats for Mandalay. Sees the average dip a little bit. Spencer Ross has been a consistent hitter for the Maple Leafs this season. He's hitting 286. Ross takes a strike on the outside corner. Spencer Ross also hitless in his last 2 games, but don't let that fool you for being unproductive. He walked 3 times against the Barrie Bay Cats. So that pitch is up and in.
He's been seeing the ball very well to start the year. And it's been really good work out of Ross just to kind of just get on base, figure out a way to get a runner on, pass the baton.
4 walks in his last 2 games. Those are the only 4 walks that he has all season. Early on in the year, he was getting on with hits. Last 2 games, walks have been the way to get on base. And well, you want to talk about 9-game streaks. We talked about Ethan Mann's 9-game hitting streak. Well, Ross is riding a 9-game on-base streak on the year. The 2-1 outside, 3-1. Can Spencer Ross keep the streak going here? 2 outs in the inning. Matt Brandt, hopeful of an at-bat on deck. Here's the 3-1 to Ross. Outside, ball 4. Make that 10 games in a row getting on base for Spencer Ross.
There's a lot of patience he's been displaying at the plate as of late.
Yeah, it's crazy. He's got 5 walks on the year. They've all come in the last 3 games. Pitchers have just started walking Spencer Ross. Or maybe that's just the product of him taking more pitches. Maybe he was swinging at borderline pitches early in the year. Hard to say. Maple Leafs don't mind either way. On base percentage getting pretty close to 400 on the year for Spencer Ross. The 1-0 to Brandt. In the dirt and low. Brandt's 0 for 1 tonight.
It was a pop-up to left field his last time up.
This one's hit on the ground into the outfield for a base hit for Matt Brandt. 2 on with 2 outs here for the Maple Leafs in the 4th.
And again, just good piece of hitting out of Matt Brandt right there. You just kind of shorten up the swing. I was going to mention that he kept his hands kind of in on his body. It looked like he was shortening things up, and he does that exactly as he goes the opposite way.
Well, if Brando Leroux can build at all off of his last at-bat, he'll hit one over the fence because he was inches away from hitting a home run to dead center field. Gio Morello went back and made a nice catch up against the batter's eye. Boy, the Maple Leafs could use a big swing here on the 4th. Great pitch from Quinones right at the bottom of the zone.
Yeah, Leroux had 2 good at-bats. He singled right back up the middle in his first one and then scored the lone run. And then, like you mentioned, the fly out to center field his last time up. It was a good piece of hitting, just couldn't get enough of it to fly over the wall.
Swings and misses. Quinones might have crossed him up with a fastball there.
Again, there's a big hole on the right side of the infield with the second baseman holding on the runner at second.
And that strike 3 called on the outside corner. Quinones using that strikeout ability to get himself out of a jam. Maple Leafs do not score in the 4th. Got a little bit of production with 2 outs in the inning, but continue to be tied here with Jackfish. 1-1. Let's see if we head to the 5th.
are still valid, however, in Maple Leaf baseball. Check out our story.
1-1 ball game here at Christie Pitts. Welland Jackfish have a run on 2 hits. Maple Leafs have a run on 3 hits. And here we are, top of the 5th inning. Veselinovic pitching a gem so far. The 0-1 pitch, this one's hit on the ground, up the middle for a base hit. Brendan Luther able to find a hole, and he's aboard to lead off the inning.
That just kind of looks like 2 players going for the ball up the middle, and they didn't want to give up on it between Mandalay and Leroux.
Good start here for the Jackfish. I mean, these are the innings that are real tough for a starter. You start to see guys, you know, second, third time through the order. Maybe a little bit of fatigue starting to set in as this one is crushed down the line in left, and it's, if it's fair, it's gone, and it's foul. Oh, that's a great shot of the ball there. Look how far that one landed. That was on the soccer field and left, but yeah, souvenir about 430 feet away from home plate.
but just foul.
Yeah. It was just foul. It was really close. The 0-1 pitch, swung on and missed. Just like that, 0-2 on Hupe after near disaster for the Maple Leafs. Two pitch, that one misses low. Here's the 1-2, hit on the ground, this could be two. Flip to second for one, Leroux to first, double play. Twin killing for the Maple Leafs. Such a great duo up the middle with Jordan Mandalay and Brando Leroux. And a great pitch made by Veselinovic to alleviate some of the pressure.
Yeah, they just make it look so easy up the middle. This is a beautiful, beautiful pitch by Veselinovic. You get the bouncer to second, and you know that the middle infielder are going to take control of that one for you.
Yeah, not a slow runner in Hupe, but it was just tailor-made for the Maple Leafs. And that duo up the middle seldom misses. Now you got the number 9 hitter in Abe, and he takes a strike. Veselinovic is at 60 pitches now. 16 balls, 44 strikes. He is pounding the strike zone, Zach.
Yeah, it's looked real good so far. I mean, the strikeout stuff has been there, but also just the soft contact. It has been so good.
Here's the 1-1. Good pitch, but it just missed. Now, pounding the strike zone is one thing. That's great. You can't just throw get-me-over fastballs to the Welland Jackfish. These are quality pitches being made by Veselinovic. Another one on the inside corner. Abe ducked out of the way of it. It was just right there on the down and inside part of the plate.
It's the guy that's working all quadrants of the zone right now.
The 2-2, back up the middle. Mandalay, and he has no play. That one kicked off his glove. I don't know if he was going to have a chance to throw out Abe at first base, but not fielding it cleanly pretty much decided that. Hey, he's had 2 chances at that play this game. He's made one of them. This time he made the first one. I don't know if that would have mattered, though, if he gloved that or not.
Yeah, that play right there, it's tough for a second baseman because you're going away from first, and with the speed of Abe going down the line, it was going to be tough to kind of double or get him out there.
Runner is going. Matt Brandt did not realize. I don't know if anyone had signaled down to Matt Brandt that the runner was in motion. And that's a tough play for the catcher because, you know, you've got a big batter and Jonah Weisner looming in front of you. That kind of blocks your view of the runner. So if no one calls it out, not much you can do there if you're Matt Brandt. That's a stolen base, though, for the Jackfish.
Abe got that bag, and he stood up and put his hands up as if asking, say, was that a foul ball? Because there's no throwdown, nothing. That's probably the easiest bag he's swiped all year.
Jackfish stole 15 bags last game. And this one slashed down the line, foul.
Everybody hopping out of the way down that path.
You know, we were wondering if there was going to be any kind of a crowd here tonight at Christie Pitts. They've actually showed up in decent numbers for a Wednesday night crowd. The reason for the speculation was the weather going to hold off, and it's turning into a pretty nice night here at the Pitts. Veselinovic will step off and just look back the runner Abe to second base.
He just got back in time.
Yeah. Weiser hits a one-hopper. Long throw for Brando Leroux. Oh, baby, it's right on the money. Brando Leroux with another spectacular defensive play, Zach. Boy, that kid's got an arm on him, doesn't he?
Yeah, the defense, it's phenomenal from Brando Leroux. Just every time he makes a play, you see it here yet again. Just goes towards the back foot, you plant, and you just fire, and it's right on the money.
Oh, my goodness. That throw was on a line to first base. Didn't even bounce it. Maple Maple Leafs. Welland Jackfish tied at 1 here at the pits.
Get ready, Chatham Kents. For the first time ever in the new Canadian Baseball League era, the 2026 All-Star Showdown is landing at Fergie Jenkins Field on the July 11th and 12th weekend. The league's top talent, all in one place. Watch the full slate of skills competitions, including the popular Home Run Derby on Saturday, and on Sunday, the ultimate 2026 CBL All-Star Game featuring your favorite players for a mid-season showdown. Chatham Kents, it's our time. The All-Star Weekend of the new CBL era. It's history in the making.
Well, ever since Crick Tavares has been acquired by the Toronto Maple Leafs, we're starting to see a trend. Players coming over from the Point Park Pioneers in the NCAA's Division II. Matt Brandt, Cam Demidzian, who we saw last time the Maple Leafs were at home. Crick Tavares building up a strong connection with that NCAA school.
Well, if you go to Point Park and you want to play in the CBL, the Toronto Maple Leafs will most definitely call your phone number up. But no, obviously it's funny to see all these guys, they come over here and play, and you ask yourself, does it have any kind of, influence to a player's decision to come play here? And for the most part, yeah, it does. You see some of your former teammates say, you know what, I enjoyed playing with him. I'd like to come back and play another season with him.
Yeah, we've seen lots of connections throughout the Inter-County Baseball League where two players will kind of, become friends and then, end up joining the same team. Sometimes your best scouts and agents are other players on the team. As this pitch hits Crick Tavares, and the former Point Park Pioneer is going to get to first base the painful way here for the Maple Leafs.
I think that went off of either his knee or just his thigh, but does not look good. He's in a world of pain right now.
Oh no. He is hobbling to try and get down to first base. He's only made it a couple steps.
It's the knee.
That is crazy. The Maple Leafs have 2 first basemen that have injured knees right now. It was a different way that Chiquetto injured his knee, but well, it's good to see that Crick Tavares staying in the game. Maybe it was just a stinger, but I mean, if that hit him on the bony part of the leg, that's going to tighten up real quick.
He's just taking a breather here. I mean, they're going to give him as much time as he needs. He's putting pressure on it, running around, so it's looking good, and it looks like it is that right knee. I don't think we've ever heard this extended version of Puig's walk-up song. I kind of like it. I don't know what it is.
Yeah, it's all right.
Kind of like that beat it has at the end.
Well, safe to say Crick Tavares might not be running particularly efficiently at first base, so a little bit of power from Puig here would do wonders for the Maple Leafs. If you're wondering what that little delay was, Pedro de los Santos is warming up in the bullpen, and a ball escaped him and got onto the field. It was the throwback to the catcher. Huge swing by Yasiel Puig. Would have to be a pretty wild pitch in the bullpen to just, yeah.
It's like that didn't go down towards the dugout. That went out towards the mound. I don't know how
it wasn't
wide
close
of a throw you'd have to make there.
Wasn't close. Here's the 0-1 pitch. That one just outside on Puig. He took a mighty hack on the first pitch, and then that's a pretty good take there on Quinones.
Well, he's been seeing the ball fairly well. 11 walks, 11 strikeouts. The numbers are a little bit inflated, but he's not afraid to wait and kind of just see it, take his pitches, get the one that he's waiting for, and strike. We know the power's there. It's pretty easy power to any part of the field.
The 1-2 pitch. Puig takes upstairs. Crix Taveras, the runner at first. He got caught stealing last time he was out there on the bag. Wouldn't be surprised to see him hold his ground at first this time. Big lead. Puig hits one up the middle. Great stop at second base by Jonah Weisner. Flip back to first, not in time. Oh, Yasiel Puig got out of the box well, and it ends up being a fielder's choice. But boy, Jonah Weisner just made a heck of a stop on that bounding ball towards, or right up the middle, really.
Yeah, Weisner, you'll see it again here. It kind of caught him off guard. He takes it on a hop, the backhand, the flip. I mean, that is just tremendous stuff defensively to make that play in the first place.
That is a nasty pick out there at second. Now it's J.J. Dutton. Takes first pitch inside. The 1-0 pitch swung on and missed. Dutton fooled on that pitch on the outside corner.
Robert Mullins looking at J.J. Dutton saying, man, stay in the box. I was going to throw in a first, and he couldn't because Dutton started walking his way. Tried to throw it back to the pitcher. Couldn't because Dutton started walking in his way.
Yeah, J.J. doesn't really roll like that, though. Expect the unexpected. Chopper to third. Flip to second for one. Do they get the double play this time? No, the throw from second pulls Mann off the bag. Another fielder's choice. The Maple Leafs just stay alive on what looked like another double play ball. Toronto Blue Jays, Houston Astros tied at 1. Tommy Nance is into the game. Delgado, who is probably somewhere on the left side of the infield for the Astros at the dish.
Third base.
I know, because the game is on here in the broadcast booth.
You're not supposed to tell people that.
Zach Benoit, just, you can't watch one game at once, eh?
I have to have multiple.
Yeah. The 1-0 pitch. There for a strike. You must love all the days where there's like 3 CBL games all going on at the same time.
Yeah, I have 3.
Don't you wish there was
I have 3 monitors at home, and usually all of them are filled sometimes.
Don't you wish there was a way, like a place where all the fans could watch every game like all on the same screen?
That'd be cool.
This one's hit on the ground, up the middle for a base hit. Dennis DeBanning gets one into center field. J.J. Dutton, who was running on the pitch, is going to make his way to third base.
That there took a big Christie hop right over the head of Jonah Weisner, allowing for J.J. Dutton to go first to third.
Yeah, he had a great jump on the pitch. DeBanning, that's a nice knock for Dennis DeBanning. Sure, it took a big hop, but it was a ball that was well placed right up the middle. More often than not, that ends up being a base hit. Maple Leafs actually hit 3 balls up the middle in this inning, and 2 of them have gone for outs, so they were due for one of those to get through. Some action in the bullpen. Eric Pettipiece gets loose. He was acquired from the Chatham-Kent Barnstormers recently. Marcus Connect at the dish. Boy, this is an opportunity here for the Maple Leafs. That, 2 outs, runners on the corners. Maybe it doesn't look like, a golden opportunity for Toronto, but they might not get a better one into the later stages of this game. Tough bullpen, a rested Jackfish team. Maple Leafs are going to win this game. You have to think that it's not going to be one of those 11-10 games that the Jackfish have seen themselves in a few times this season.
Big difference in this game. I mean, we're getting just tremendous pitching performances on both teams. I mean, they are just shoving, to say the least.
Mm-hmm. Quinones was really good last time he was here at Christie Pitts. So far he's one-upping that with just the 1 run allowed. That came way back in the first inning. The 1-1 to Marcus Connect. Takes just inside. There was a hesitation from all parties waiting for the result of that pitch. Hitters count here for Marcus. The 2-1. And Connect hits one in the air pretty well to right field, and this one is going to hang up in the outfield for Justin Gideon, who makes the catch. Marcus Connect hit it well. Justin Gideon placed well out there in the outfield. The Maple Leafs, with runners on the corners, cannot score in the 5th here at Christie Pitts.
Welcome back here to Dominico Field. Welland Jackfish back up to bat. Gio Morello will lead things off. Ethan Mann and then James Smybert. The 3 due up here. Nick Veselinovic. Really strong start, to say the least. And that one goes right through the glove of Matt Brand, right off the umpire. Brand immediately spins around, apologizes. Top part of the 6th, 1-1 score. If you're a Maple Leafs fan, you are loving what you're getting right now out of this team. Keeping yourself in it against a Welland Jackfish squad that's been red hot as this is lifted in the right center gap. Dutton going back, reaches up, and he makes the grab. J.J. Dutton drifting over towards his left, makes a phenomenal catch, definitely saving extra bases against Gio Morella. So another look at it right there. Morello, he put a drive into that baseball, but J.J. Dutton patrolling is able to make the grab, and well, if you're the pitcher, Veselinovic, you are absolutely ecstatic at that. A pitcher's best friend, defensive plays just like that. A great web gem. They'll bring up the dangerous Ethan Mann. We highlighted him earlier in the ball game. He has been the hottest hitter in the CBL over the 8-game span, and he did not disappoint in his second at bat. He took one opposite field, right over that metal monster. This time he rips it past Leroux. Nothing Brando could have done about that, and it's a 1-out single for Mann.
Third baseman number 5, James Smybert.
Bring up the third baseman, James Smybert. Smybert 0 for 1 on the day, struck out looking, and he reached once via the walk all the way back in the first. Runner takes off for second, the throw down, and it's going to get into center field. Mann will just stay at second. He's just dusting off the pants. Thought he was leaning over, holding at the leg there, but nope, just cleaning off the pants. So he's in there with a stolen base. And again, this Welland Jackfish team, they have done a tremendous job throughout the year in stealing bases. Already a bunch here today. They were leading by a wide variety, 19 to be exact, coming into this ball game. They've only extended that lead from the Kitchener Panthers, who are second. That's a big runner out there at second base. Go ahead, run in this ball game, and with how well these pitchers are throwing, it feels like this could, make or break a game here. Line shot right into right field. Puig is going to go back to grab it. He gets it in quick, but it's going to still score the run as James Smybert cashes in Mann, and the Welland Jackfish take a 1-run lead here in the top of the 6th. Again, this is a Welland Jackfish team that has been one of the best run-producing teams in the CBL. Some action in the Maple Leafs bullpen, number 40. Actually, it looks like we have a double barrel action. DePaula and Gulko warming up here. Double barrel, as you see on your screen right there with the meeting on the mound. Veselinovic earning this chance to stay in the ball game, try to get through the sixth inning here. Again, it's been a tremendous evening for the left-hander. Gideon steps up here as that gets away, and Smybert will take off to second. He might try to go to 3. He's going to, and he's going to be in there standing. The throw will be cut off by Veselinovic on the mound, and a 2-base throwing error from the lefty has another runner in scoring position here for the Jackfish. So runner at third, infield will come in. First pitch here to Gideon is a fastball high, swinging through for strike 1. One out here in the top of the 6th. Big at-bat here as Gideon lifts this down the right field line. Will it stay fair? Yes, it does. Banks right off the wall. And he is hustling into third. The throw all the way from right field will get to the base at the same time as Gideon, but he's in there with a stand-up triple and an RBI.
Yeah, big arm from Yasiel Puig in the outfield, but that was a lot to ask on that ball. It was close down the line. I mean, that was right on the foul pole.
Looked like initially Puig might have thought that was going to be a foul ball right off the bat, but then it just kind of straightened out, and it eventually just ended up being a triple.
So now it's Robert Mullen, the catcher. Maple Leafs infield is way in. And Mullen fouls that pitch off.
Yeah, same situation. They were just in with Gideon at the plate. Just difference is another run has come in to score, so trying to hold on to this deficit as much as they can.
Here's the 1-1. Mullen takes low. You see that catch by J.J. Dutton?
That was crazy. I saw you in center field.
Should we pop out from the batter's eye there?
Yep.
That was crazy. Yasiel Puig was fired up too. Here's the 2-1 pitch. Way inside, 3-1.
Sideline reporter down there.
Yeah.
You.
Gave Dutton a big high five. He was like, yeah, attaboy. The 3-1 pitch. Outside, ball 4. Double play is in order now for the Maple Leafs, but another runner on for the Jackfish.
Head coach Rob Butler coming out might spell the end of the day for Nick Veselinovic.
Yeah, he had a good inning, but he's leaking oil a little bit here, and yeah, I think Rob's going to take the ball from him. That, you know, the runners on base right now are his responsibility. It would be great if those could be stranded, because Veselinovic pitched really well today for the Toronto Maple Leafs. Pitching change when we come back. Frankie Golko is into the game for the Toronto Maple Leafs. He'll face Brendan Luther to lead, well, not lead things off, but that's his first batter he's got, and what a jam he's in. First and third, just one out. Trying to save some of those runs for his starting pitcher, Veselinovic. This pitch in the dirt, Matt Brandt able to find it quickly. Here's the 1-0. That pitch is upstairs. Frankie Golko, the 24-year-old pitcher, stands at 6'2" on the mound for the Maple Leafs out of Long Island, New York. Here's the 2-0. That one misses as well, and Golko trying to find the strike zone here against Luther.
Yeah, big spot for Golko to come into here, especially with where we are in the ball game.
3-0 pitch. Strike right on the outside corner. That's strike one. I don't know if he could throw that pitch again. Maybe he could get Luther to hit one into the ground. That's what the Maple Leafs need right now. Here's the 3-1. Swung on and missed. Really good pitch there from Golko to get himself back in the count.
Looks like he pulled the string there with the possibly could have been a changeup.
Big full count pitch here from the new pitcher for Toronto. Time is called by the batter, Brendan Luther. Maybe sensing that Golko was getting himself into a bit of a rhythm after delivering 2 perfect pitches at the bottom of the zone. The 3-2. Strike 3 called on the outside corner. A huge punch out for Frankie Golko. Comes all the way back from down 3 on the count and gets Luther.
Just tremendous stuff there. And the biggest pitch of the at-bat to me, it's that changeup where it was 3-1. He decides to pull the string, and he has the hitter just so out in front, and then you come back there with a beautiful pitch on the outside that catches the corner.
Can Golko strand them all here? Brendan Hupe swings at the first pitch and comes up empty. Hupe is the DH, trying to tack on some runs here in the 6th. Welland has already cashed in 2. Here's the 1-0. Hupe hits one softly on the ground to third. Ross has it, throws to first, and what a job done by Frankie Golko in relief. Strands runners at first and third, came in with just 1 out in the inning and keeps the Maple Leafs in it here against the Jackfish.
Get ready, Chatham Kents. For the first time ever in the new Canadian Baseball League era, the 2026 All-Star Showdown is landing at Fergie Jenkins Field on the July 11th and 12th weekend. The All-Star weekend of the new CBL era. It's history in the making.
First pitch of the 6th inning in the bottom half of the 6th here. Jordan Mandalay facing Quinones. And Mandalay reaching for that pitch and fouls it off. Oh, and 2 here on Jordan. Mandalay doesn't mind being behind in the count. That's something that he can deal with his great bat-to-ball skills. But Zach, feels like Jordan Mandalay has found himself behind in the count a lot here in this game. This time he takes outside.
He's been very passive, it feels like, at the plate. A guy that, if he gets aggressive, we know, again, how good he is with the bat-to-ball skills, but get a little bit more aggressive early in the count.
Here's the 1-2. Flares one into the Jackfish bullpen, and that one's going to land safely. Another life here for Jordan Mandalay. Yeah, this is a guy that you just want to see him go up there and swing the bat. I mean, he can get a base hit on just basically any pitch. Doesn't like to walk a lot anyway. Here's the 1-2. Mandalay fouls it off. A little bit better swing that time. And the last win the Maple Leafs had against Kitchener, I mean, he put a great swing on a baseball, homered out at Jack Couch Park. Here's the 1-2. And he loses the bat, hits it on the ground to first, and he's going to get there. They don't ask how or whether or not you had your bat in your hands. Jordan Mandalay is going to reach first base.
Well, there's a will, there's a way, and Mandalay finds it there. Just make contact. Obviously, don't throw your bat at the pitcher, but if it slips out of the hand, slips out of the hand.
Yeah, he threw his bat at the baseball there and got a little chopper for a hit. Now there's a meeting on the mound. See, Quinones is walking back up the mound rather gingerly. This is a mound visit with the Jackfish trainer coming out.
Might have stumbled awkwardly on the mound. It was Quinones when he went to get that ball. Looks like this might be the end of the day for him.
I don't know if this was in the plan or not for Quinones to come out of the ball game. Here's another look at it, see if we can see anything. So he gets over to first base. There was a little bit of a stumble as he got off the bag. Yeah, look, you can see right there. Just comes up gingerly afterwards. So we're going to have a pitching change here at Christie Pitts. We'll have that for you in just a moment. Well, Eric Pettipiece is into the game for the Welland Jackfish. These are the pitchers listed on the lineup card that are available for the Welland Jackfish. Couple of options, all of them except Martinez and Mendez pitched last game against the Guelph Royals. Pedro de los Santos is trying to get back on track, but let's turn the attention to Eric Pettipiece, a guy traded from the Chatham-Kent Barnstormers, someone the Jackfish they wanted to go out and get, and I mean, if you look at some of the work that he's done, it looks a little bit different in the last couple games than what he was doing. You know, I mean, even the last outing, Zach went 4 innings against the Brantford Red Sox.
Yeah, you look at the numbers he put in the early season. I mean, he didn't allow a run. The last 2 games, that's where it's kind of been the question mark. Was he went 4 innings, like you mentioned, against the Brantford Red Sox, allowed 2 earned runs, 5 hits, walked 3, and struck out 2. went 2 innings against the London Majors, and then allowed 1 earned run as well. And other than that, he was pretty solid. So they brought the arm in. They like what he has, and they're just hoping that he can get back to that kind of dominant presence that he found.
Yeah, so the word on the street in the Maple City was that Eric Pettipies was looking to go somewhere and, just get some more innings. He just wasn't getting a ton of work, or at least is not as much as he wanted. Then he gets traded to the Welland Jackfish, which you think, like, how is that going to create more work for yourself? But hey, maybe he's a young pitcher, right? Just 21 years old. Maybe he gets a little bit more exposure, out in Niagara rather than in Chatham. But boy, he's going to have to earn his spot here. These are big innings for Eric Pettipies to, be one of those trusted relievers down the stretch for the Jackfish.
Yeah, this is a big moment in the ball game as well.
Spencer Ross is the first batter he's facing and has him in a 1-1 count. Ross takes low. 2 balls and 1 strike. Spencer 0 for 1 in the game, but extended his on-base streak to 10 games for the Leafs. That was in his last at-bat, drew a walk. Ross takes a strike on the inside corner from Pettipies.
This has been the part of the order that has produced a little bit here for the Maple Leafs, just getting on base. And if they're able to try to get this up to Brando Leroux, who looms in the hole, for the top of the order, it would be huge.
The 2-2. And Ross swings and misses. Eric Pettipies gets him swinging. Eric Pettipies and Eric Johnson, 2 of the new acquisitions most recently for the Jackfish, both pitchers, so they are looking to strengthen their bullpen. And Brandt hits a little flare in the air to left, and this one's going to find some grass. Matt Brandt has his 2nd hit of the ball game, and the Maple Leafs turn the lineup over with runners on base.
Yeah, do whatever you got to do to try to get a runner in scoring position. Matt Brandt just kind of, again, sticks the hands out there and is able just to flare one over that third baseman.
I mean, sure, he's putting the bat on the ball. You put the bat on the ball at Christie Pitts, you're going to get hits. And that's just what Brandt has been doing over his last couple games. 3 hits in his last 2. Getting the job done at the bottom of the order for Toronto. Here's Brando Leroux, the leadoff hitter. Fouls a pitch off. Still maybe lamenting that ball that he hit to center field where he just missed a home run. Ethan Mann's the only one in the ball game that's been able to get one out. Here's the 0-1 pitch. And LaRue fouls it off. Eric Pettipies is actually a former Maple Leaf, but not the Maple Leafs you're thinking. Played for the Goshen Maple Leafs in the NAIA. Played 4 years of college baseball there. Here's the 0-2. That one's fouled off again. Started out his career in this league with the Chatham-Kent Barnstormers, and then, as we mentioned, traded to the Jackfish just recently.
Comes into a big spot here. Now you got the top of the order to deal with. Tying run standing at first.
The 2-0 just outside. That's a good take from Brando.
I think with the more reps that LaRue is getting in the game, his sense for the at-bats is just getting better and better.
The 1-2 to LaRue. In the dirt, skips away from Mullen, but he stays with it enough to hold the runners where they are.
Mandalay took a couple stutter steps over there towards third, but doesn't want to risk it, especially when you're just trying to claw back.
Brando Leroux in a 2-2 count. One out here in the sixth. Runners on first and second. Maple Leafs trying to get back in it. And that pitch from Pettipies is fouled off. No one's going to skip up onto the hillside back behind home plate. Eric Pettipies, the 21-year-old from Dorchester, Ontario, stands at 6 feet on the mound for the Jackfish. Crix Taveras on deck, hoping he gets an at-bat here in the sixth. Another 2-2, and it's fouled off. Brando Leroux swung at a pitch that was up around his shoulders and just got a piece. Two and two, Leroux making the new pitcher Pettipies work in this at-bat. And Brando takes just outside and low. Another good pitch by Pettipies. Leroux, he's had a pretty good eye up there. I mean, he's fouled off some pitches that were borderline, and that time he knew it was just a little outside.
And these have been some terrific takes from Leroux to keep this at-bat alive.
A full count pitch. And Brando Leroux crushes one in the air to left. It's high and deep and gone! 3-run home run, Brando Leroux, and the Maple Leafs take the lead.
Well, I mentioned he's been seeing the ball better and better as every at-bat has gone on tonight, and right there just puts a jolt into one. A fantastic swing from the shortstop.
He deserved a home run this game. He just missed one 2 at-bats ago, and this time able to find the skate park out there and left. That is just a huge swing from Brando Leroux. I mean, the Maple Leafs have had runners on. They've kind of lulled people into thinking, oh, you know, are they going to be able to cash in these runs with one out, runners on first and second, not overly threatening positions that the Maple Leafs have been in this ball game, and then all of a sudden the leadoff hitter Brando Leroux comes up and changes everything. Crix Taveras fouls the first pitch off from Pettipies.
But again, it all starts from the bottom half of the order. That's what they do. They get you back to the top where you have your hot bats, and Leroux doesn't miss.
And I don't know if this was the spot that Eric Pettipies was expecting to come in. I mean, maybe this was the batter that he was in line to face lefty v lefty against Crix Taveras. If you remember, earlier in the inning, Quinones appeared to exit the ball game because he tweaked something coming off the mound. The trainer came out. It didn't seem like it was a scheduled pitching change. So the Jackfish go to Pettipies maybe a little earlier than he would have expected. Brando Leroux is a righty facing a lefty, and he was able to pull one out of the yard. 1-1 to Taveras, well outside.
Patience here by these Maple Leaf hitters have been huge in this inning especially.
Pettipies looks in, and now the 2-1 pitch. Low and inside, 3-1. Well, it's great for the pitcher to be facing someone lefty v lefty, but now he's had to throw a bunch of pitches in this inning and not as fresh as he was to start. 3-1 pitch. And this one's hit in the air to center field, struck pretty well by Taveras, and back is Morello to make the catch just in front of the warning track. Pretty good swing, maybe just under it.
Yeah, and Taveras hit it to the quote-unquote deepest part of the ballpark here, where it's just so tough. He pulls that a little bit down the line. That might be high off that metal monster and right. But still, the Maple Leafs, they're putting together a couple of really good swings against this Jackfish pitching staff.
Puig will face the lefty. He's got his A swing off once in this game. It was a foul ball early on. He's got to be hungry to lift one out of the ballpark now. The 1-0 pitch. Puig takes inside, it nearly hit him. He was able to contort his body to get out of the way. 2-0. Three and 0 now.
Mentioned he's a guy that'll take his walks, not one to just swing out of his shoes.
Unless it's a pitch in the strike zone.
Yes.
He's been selective though. He knows the pitchers aren't trying to give him a cookie over the middle of the plate, and that's certainly the case here. You know, look at the body language. He's frustrated. He wants to swing the bat. It's a 4-pitch walk, but I mean, if you're the Welland Jackfish in this situation, bottom of the 6th inning, you've got so much offense to come back in this game. There's just no need to face Puig there. The lefty pitcher facing the righty bat and Puig. Now it's J.J. Dutton who takes ball 1. Now you end up walking a guy. Things can start to get away from you eventually. He's facing another righty, so you gotta nip this in the bud here if you're the Jackfish. J.J. Dutton's 1 for 2. 1-0 pitch misses outside. J.J. Dutton came into this game hitting .378.
Wow.
He's got 5 RBIs now on the year as well. Here's the 2-0. Dutton takes low and in, and now you start to think that maybe it wasn't an intentional walk to Yasiel Puig. Eric Pettipiece might be fighting for the command a little bit.
Bullpen looks like it's going to start getting stirred quickly here, but the next couple batters, this is Pettipiece's inning.
Right down the middle, finds the zone. Well, you know Davey Mendez is available. Have him listed as a guy. Danny Howitt has been someone who's been effective, but guys like Howitt and De Los Santos down the bullpen, they've been leaking a little bit of late. This one's fouled off. De Los Santos started out really hot, like just getting everybody out, but over the last couple of games, opposing hitters have started to figure him out a little bit.
It's that law of averages, my friend.
Maple Leafs are sitting here in the 6th inning, and they've got to be pretty happy with how this game is going so far. And a check on Puig at first base. I mean, how about Frankie Golko coming in and stranding 2 runners last inning? Boy, does that ever loom large now in the 6th.
Yeah, it's just massive pitching right there from Golko.
Dutton walks. Yasiel Puig was on the move in the 3-2 count, and he just kept moving, rounded the base a little bit just to see if he can bait anything, but Jackfish are not interested.
I, for a split second, was very confused. I was like, why is he taking off? And then I realized it's 2 outs.
Yes. That would be fun, though.
I thought Puig was just trying to steal a bag.
He is still pretty fast. Like, he is a very strong guy. He can get down the line. Haven't seen a pitching move yet. There is a meeting on the mound.
I think they just signaled.
Is it De Los Santos that's warming up in the bullpen? Yeah, it is.
Yes. But he just got up.
Yeah. Maple Leafs have seen a lot of De Los Santos. I think he was pitching a little bit earlier on. And once again, so yeah, he was pitching earlier on because remember he missed a ball that was a throwback from the catcher. He's just done it again, and the ball came all the way out to home plate. I don't know. Probably nothing to read into there, but interesting. Long visit on the mound. I mean, De Los Santos looks like he's just trying to get ready, but he wasn't able to throw a couple warm-up pitches because the bullpen catcher threw his ball away. Now Pedro De Los Santos is going to come into this ball game. The Maple Leafs have seen a lot of this guy. Boy, it wasn't the outing that Petapiste wanted. So Pedro De Los Santos coming into the game. We'll take a quick break and be right back. Well, Pedro De Los Santos into the game. Eric Petapiste came in, gave up a 3-run home run to Brando Leroux, and the Welland Jackfish for the second time go to the bullpen earlier than they thought with the pitcher that was on the mound. This has spiraled a little bit for the Jackfish. It's really not over. I mean, we saw this team score 20 runs, so the Maple Leafs are probably going to need to score a little bit more to win this game. First pitch, Dennis DeBanning takes outside.
Yeah, this is a Jackfish team that can score in bunches, and they can do it very quickly. So it'll be interesting to see who comes in to pitch for the Maple Leafs in the next half, because this has been a long half.
Right. Golko was the pitcher on the mound. The 1-0 to DeBanning, and he fists one towards the outfield. It's dropping. It falls for a base hit. Here's the throw home in plenty of time. Swim move at the plate, and he's out. Valiant effort by Yasiel Puig at home plate, but he was out by a wide margin. The Maple Leafs really wanted to tack that extra run on. Pedro De Los Santos will find a way to get out of it. The Jackfish use 3 different pitchers in the inning. The Maple Leafs take the lead. Brando Leroux hits a home run, his second here at Christie Pitts, and Toronto in front. things have really taken a turn in this ball game. Brando Leroux's 3-run home run after an unscheduled exit by Quinones has given the Maple Leafs the lead. Now they turn to Ronaldo De Paula, and this one's hit on the ground. Bat and ball follow each other. Throw to first base, and Jordan Mandley was unfazed by that strange play. Abe is retired.
Yeah, they go to one of their bigger arms there. And De Paula, and he gets a broken bat ground out. That's what you like to see, especially after a very lengthy inning that was just played here. If you're the Maple Leafs, what you want to do on defense, you want to go out there and get back on the sticks as fast as possible. Put all the pressure back onto the Welland Jackfish.
So De Paula gets an out on one pitch. Now here's the top of the order in Wisner. Squaring to bunt, takes inside for a ball. Here's the 1-0. Way inside, and that one nearly hit the batter, Wisner.
Just two overcooked fastballs there, holding the grip a little too long is De Paula.
The 2-0. Just below the knees for a ball. 3-0 now. De Paula has been really good for the Maple Leafs. Don't let the ERA over 6 fool you. That came in one outing against the Jackfish last time the Maple Leafs played them. Welland got him for 3 earned runs. He did not record an out. So he finds the strike zone there. Every other outing he's allowed some runs, but no earned runs. Here's the 3-1. High chopper to third. Ross a dive, and it's a fair ball down the line. Picked up, and the throw into second base is just late. Strong, accurate throw there from Dennis DeBanning.
Center fielder number 11, Gio Morello.
Showed off the arm there, but Wisner displayed the speed. It's just perfect hitting. He pokes it right down that third base line, and got to give credit to Spencer Ross. Did everything he could to try to get that ball, but again, it's just so tough when it's coming at you that fast down the line.
That was a heck of a headlong dive by Spencer Ross there at third base. He kind of face planted a little bit actually as he dove down the line, but it was an all-out effort to try and at least knock that down and save it from being a double. Now Morello takes a strike. That runner in scoring position, that represents the tying run for the Jackfish. Luis Florentino getting loose in the bullpen for the Maple Leafs. The 1-0 to Morello, he swings and misses. De Paula gets ahead in the count. Two and 0 on Morello, a guy who can really put the bat on the ball. De Paula would really benefit from a strikeout here. This one's hit on the ground hard and up the middle for a base hit. This is going to plate a run for the Welland Jackfish. Throw is cut off. And Gio Morello delivers a game-tying single.
Again, Gio Morello, you mentioned how good he is at making contact. He does it again right there. Just tremendous stuff. He shortens up the swing and just punches it right through the hole.
Jonah Wisner was blazing around third base. Good cutoff on the infield by the Maple Leafs. Crix Tavares came all the way over to cut that one off. That holds the runner at first base, but as we know, Morello can steal a bag or two over there at first, so he'll be in the back of the mind of De Paula as long as he stays there. There he goes right away. He got a great jump. There was just never going to be a throw there from Matt Brandt. He did lose it on the transfer, but Morello, I mean, he was running before De Paula even started his move.
Yeah, speedster to say the least is Gio Morella.
When that ball got to the glove of the catcher Matt Brent, he was almost there.
Yeah.
To second base. The 1-0. I mean, that wasn't even speed. If anyone got that jump, they would have stole second base. One and one on the first baseman, Mann. Ethan Mann has the batting average at .408 on the year. And Mann fouls this one off. Now the runner in scoring position represents the go-ahead run for the Jackfish. They are going to need DePaula to hold that right there. He needs to record 2 outs here. The 1-2. Long hold by DePaula. Now he delivers. It's way up and in. That one buzzed the ear of Ethan Mann. I don't even know how he got out of the way of that one.
Yeah, just drop the bat, spin, and you pray to God that it doesn't hit you in the helmet.
Yeah, that one went like right over his shoulder and just by his ear. So the count's 2-2 on him. Ethan Mann is 2 for 3 today. You'll remember he hit the home run earlier in the game. Now he swings and misses. DePaula gets the punch out. Mann back to the dugout swinging.
Really good pitch there by DePaula. He's just back-to-back-to-back fastballs, and then you just spin a beautiful off-speed on the outside half. It makes that zone look so much bigger.
Yeah, that was a really good pitch. In a big spot, too. James Smybert comes to the dish. Chops one to first. Easy play for Crix Tavares. DePaula ends up giving up the tying run, but does a good job to strand the go-ahead run at second base. A punch out, and then makes a good pitch there to get the ground out. 4-4. What a ball game we have as we head to the bottom of the 7th inning here at Christie Pitts. Well, Pedro de los Santos got out of the inning, and wasn't the way you expected him to get out of the inning. It was a single and a runner thrown out at home plate. Puig was gunned down at the plate, so he stays on the mound. It was a long inning for the Jackfish, or the Maple Leafs. Ended up scoring a trio of runs. The Jackfish get one back, and we're tied. Pedro de los Santos remains on the mound for the Jackfish, and a 1-1 count here to Marcus Connect. who fouls one off at home plate, and now De Los Santos is ahead in the count. Pedro De Los Santos has an ERA of 6.64. A lot of those runs that he's given up have come recently. When an inning against the Royals gave up 3 earned, when an inning and 2/3 against the Barnstormers before that gave up 5. Other than that, he's been pretty good this season. Here's the 1-2. Marcus Connect hits one through the hole into the outfield for a base hit. Leadoff single for Marcus Connect.
The bats for the Maple Leafs have really come to life in the second half of this ball game. Talk about the last 2 innings, the 5th and the 6th. I mean, they just worked at bats, made the pitching staff for the side of the Jackfish really work, and that's how they were able to capitalize, score some runs, and doing it again here. Marcus Connect starting things off right.
The one thing you can say about Pedro De Los Santos, he's certainly been a workhorse. He's pitched in 12 games for the Jackfish this season. Jordan Mandalay scoring to bunt, and did he get hit on the foot? He swung his leg out of the way. He's limping around, maybe trying to draw the call. But I don't think the home plate umpire is going to signal hit by pitch there. Jordan Mandalay is going to have to get back in the box.
Yeah, it looked like he just kind of threw the bat down and was just trying to get out of the way.
There's a strike. De Los Santos. So that breaking ball is the Pedro De Los Santos special. He doesn't necessarily throw hard, but he spent a whole season for the London Majors back in some really important seasons when they beat the Maple Leafs twice in the Inter-County Baseball League Finals, and he was the ace. He was the ace of that team. He started all of the big games, and he didn't throw hard, and it was always so incredible to see him go out there and just carve up hitters. Like the 2021 season, he was just fantastic at an ERA of 2.19, and he would just use tons of off-speed pitches, mix it up really well. As Jordan Mandalay gets into this one, hits it to left, and it's Abe who comes over and makes the catch reaching up. Pretty good contact from Jordan Mandalay, but Abe just got to that ball efficiently in the outfield.
Yeah, a good path there by Abe to get to it. Just to go to your point about De Los Santos, and you know, a pitcher that was so good that threw soft stuff in the major leagues. Look back to Marco Estrada. Didn't throw hard, commanded with an off-speed, commanded with the changeup. And that's kind of just the art of pitching that I think gets lost nowadays, because everybody says, oh, throw hard, velo. Velo's the big name of the game now. You want to try to throw like Jacob Mizorowski, 105, or Paul Skeens throwing 103. But you can't forget about the people that are so good and crafty at being able to mix pitches.
Ross hits one to second. Play to first is in time, just in time to get Spencer Ross. That was a high chopper on the ground to Jonah Weisner. So runner in scoring position now for the Maple Leafs, and that's kind of the name of the game here. Bottom of the 7th inning, outs dwindling down for both teams, tie ball game. Seems like the guy who can get a hit with 2 outs and a runner in scoring position might be the team that wins it. And Matt Brandt has 2 hits. Both of those hits would work right here. Whether that be a ground ball through the infield or a bloop single like he had in his last at-bat where he just kind of fought one off and hit it the other way. Check swing at a nasty pitch from De Los Santos. No swing, says the umpire at second base. Are you a big appeal down to second base guy?
I always find it so difficult because even back in the days of umpiring when I did it, it was always tough because like you can't really tell if you went around or not.
No. Here's the 1-1. Swung on and missed by Matt Brandt. Another nasty off-speed pitch. This is a tough matchup, lefty v lefty for Matt Brandt here. He's seen a lot of velo, admittedly a lot of breaking balls from Quinones early in the game, but De Los Santos is a different breed out there. The 1-2. Brandt waits on it, hits it to third. Throw to first just in time, and that gets Matt Brandt. And the Maple Leafs get Marcus Connect in the scoring position, but just can't get that hit with 2 outs and a runner in scoring position. And the game remains tied here at Christie Pitts. Back here at Christie Pitts, back on the mound is Ronaldo DePaula. Gave up 1 run in the last inning. And the first pitch to Justin Gideon is in there low. Here's the 1-0. Up and away. We clocked DePaula at about 91 miles an hour in an outing a couple weeks ago. Haven't had the gun on him since, but easily one of the higher velo guys in the repertoire for the Maple Leafs.
Yeah, it does a good job getting extension down the mound, and he's not one of those guys that, you know, he'll look overpowering on the mound with height, but I mean, he has just such an electric arm.
The 2-1 way inside, and I think that got a piece of Justin Gideon on the way through. That was a fastball that he just pulled.
We've seen that a couple times here tonight where he just kind of overcooks the fastball. He gets his foot down and he's still kind of just over gripping it.
Yeah, the velo and just kind of lively stuff was what made him a player that the Los Angeles Dodgers fancied having in their system for about 6 years, got up to AA ball. Now Mullen, a guy that throws even harder maybe than DePaula is Luis Florentino, who's warming up. He can get that fastball up around 94 in the bullpen. So Maple Leafs have got the guys they want in this kind of situation available. Now, can they win a game against one of the top in the league in the Jackfish? Runner goes. Gideon is going to swipe second base. Well, the stolen bases have been plentiful in this game tonight.
Yeah, we kind of knew that coming in. I mean, this is the team that has swiped the most bags by a wide margin in the Welland Jackfish.
Just a smart play there by Justin Gideon. He might not be off to the best start that he wanted this season, but he's still really contributing to this Jackfish team. I mean, right there, just recognizing DePaula's been wild. Probably going to get a good pitch to go on that's going to be tough for Matt Brandt to throw down, and he did.
Yep. Good read by the base runner there.
Here's the 2-1 pitch. In the dirt, this one skips up in the air, and once again, Justin Gideon gets a great read and actually turned around third base as Matt Brandt couldn't find that ball. The answer to the question Matt Brandt was thinking, where's the ball? It was straight up in the air. It was over his head for a while. Gideon was already at third base, and the pressure was on Brandt just to find it, to make sure Gideon didn't come home. But, boy, good chance he's able to cross the plate here with Mullen at the dish. Nobody out. 3-1 the count. And Mullen swings and misses. He was just trying to get a ball in the air there, see if he can't get Gideon home on a sac fly.
Yeah, this is a glorious opportunity here for the Jackfish to get the leadoff man on and all the way over to third.
And it hit him right on the front hip of Robert Mullen. And for the guy that's squatting down behind the plate all the time, that's just not the best feeling. I think he'll be okay, but he's grimacing a little bit looking back towards the Jackfish dugout.
Yeah, that one is not fun, especially getting hit right on the hip.
So DePaula's been pretty wild so far in this outing, especially in this inning. You can either use that to your advantage and get back in the zone, because it's certainly an unsettling feeling for the Maple Leafs hitters.
Also want to mention,
or Jackfish hitters.
The Welland Jackfish, they lead the league in hit by pitches as well. I brought that up earlier. They've only just extended that here tonight.
Where are they in runs scored in the league?
First.
So I almost wonder if that stat is the product of they just get more at-bats than everyone else in the league. We're going to see a pitching change here. Maybe we'll finish that thought when we come back. Luis Florentino coming into the game in a really tough spot here. 4-4 game, but the Jackfish threatening with runners on the corners and nobody out in the 8th. Well, I'm sorry we couldn't show the events that we just witnessed here at Christie Pitts, but we had a fan on the field, and they found a creative way to get them off the field. Obviously I don't want to bring any attention to it because we want to try and eliminate that as much as possible at Canadian Baseball League games, just for the safety of the players. Everyone was okay, nothing bad happened. But right now, everyone's just on the field kind of discussing it. There were a whole bunch of employees that were down there on the Maple Leafs side that were kind of helping. Eventually, security came into play as well, and they were able to get the fan off the field. But there was certainly some intrigue from the fans as all the employees of the Maple Leafs worked out how to get this game back underway.
Yeah, like you mentioned, we won't elaborate on what happened, but yeah, something I've never seen here, and shocking to see, honestly, with how well run the field usually is. The only thing I will say is if you ever watch the Royal Rumble, that's all I can say.
Yeah, just the big thing is just, we've seen people on the field at games before, but usually it's just, they do their thing. It's, super disruptive and, sucks because, right now Luis Florentino is on the mound. He already warmed up. He's been throwing for a long time. This is a huge spot in the ball game. Like, this is the last time that we'd want a delay like that. But, you just got to get off the field, man. Like, that took, 5 minutes to try and get this fan off the field. And eventually, really good job by the Maple Leaf staff to kind of get that worked out and finally get the fan off the field. So finally, Luis Florentino, after an extended warm-up on the mound, is going to pitch here in the biggest spot of the ball game. This is totally the biggest spot of the ball game. Tied, nobody out in the 8th, and Florentino trying to save the runs that are on the record of DePaula at first and third. First pitch to Luther, runner goes, bunt is down, and there's no play. Spencer Ross thought about coming home, and the Jackfish take the lead. They got lots of motion on the infield, and it worked out.
Yeah, especially after that delay, that's kind of just a genius play to write up. A suicide squeeze. Absolutely genius out of the Jackfish, just to catch kind of everybody in the Maple Leafs sleeping.
As this one's flooded in the outfield, and that one's going to fall for a base hit. The Jackfish are going to go station to station, and now they're loaded with nobody out, and they have a 5-4 lead with a chance to tack on more.
Everything falling the way of the Jackfish right now, and they're going to take it and run with it.
Florentino was in a situation like this in his last outing here at Christie Pitts with the bases loaded, nobody out. And this one's popped up on the infield. Does Ross have room? He does, just in front of the Maple Leafs dugout. Run in for the Jackfish, but that is a big out for Toronto to keep it close. Now the double play's in order. Jonah Weisner is at the dish.
Second baseman number 4 is Jonah Weisner.
Weisner trying to give the Jackfish some insurance here in the 8th. First pitch, up and in. A run has come in to score, but if Luis Florentino can escape this jam with limited damage, that's a huge win for the Maple Leafs. Another ball flared off to the left. That one's going to find the seats. Let's just go back to that bunt play for a second. So Spencer Ross was trying to come home. It was going to be a tough play at first. He probably would have had one, but kind of maybe the indecision of to go to home or go to first And he couldn't quite barehand that ball on the infield. And this one is smashed to center. On his horse as J.J. Dutton makes the catch. This is going to cash in another run. J.J. Dutton, a great catch out there in center field. And it's a 6-4 lead now for the Jackfish on the sac fly.
Yeah, really good job done by the Jackfish. Situational hitting. Bases loaded. You had no outs. You get the bunt down, score a run. One less than 2 outs. All you got to do is just elevate the ball. And that's just heads up hitting right there by Jonah Weisner.
So there's a patch of fog that's starting to come through the pits. I will bet you that grass on the infield is wet right now. I've seen that a lot when I kind of go down after the games. You get that cool air down on the infield. That probably did not help the grip on the baseball with Spencer Ross fielding that play earlier on in the inning as well. Because let's face it, right now, I mean, if there's an out at home there, that just changes everything in this inning.
Yeah, I thought fog was rolling through here, but I remember I was walking back from the skate park. They were doing construction at the skate park.
Another runner goes. Matt Brandt is not going to throw down.
Thought maybe they were still doing construction over there, and that was leading to the big cloud of smoke going over us, but no.
That may have been smoke, but there is still like it's kind of a dew that seems to be setting in on the grass. 2-0 here on Morello. And that one finds the strike zone from Luis Florentino. So Hupe ends up stealing the base. Maple Leafs aren't too worried about that, though. They know they cannot give up more than 2 runs here in this inning. They've only got 6 outs to work with. The focus is on getting out Gio Morello. Pitch high. Florentino, just a bit of an arm side miss there, up and away. Three and 1 the count. Down the middle for a strike. Morello is taking all the way, sensing wildness here from Florentino. Big 3-2 pitch from Florentino, and it's fouled off at home plate. Morello just got a piece. Trying to see down into the Jackfish bullpen, but a Davey Mendez-like figure appears to be warming.
Yeah, he has been getting loose slowly but surely.
3-2 pitch, inside, ball 4, very close. Florentino chose to go with the breaking ball and missed, and the bases are loaded again for the Jackfish.
Yeah, these last 2 innings for the relievers of the Maple Leafs, it just hasn't gone their way. The walks have been up, and well, the Jackfish have just kind of getting the luck of the draw with everything.
But this is the point in the ball game where the Jackfish just outright win the game. They've done this to a lot of opponents where late in the ball game, you know, running out of arms, they put up a bunch of runs. Or, as we get a swing and a miss there on Mann, or Florentino ends this bleeding in the 8th inning right here, and the Maple Leafs have a chance to come back. Here's the 1-0. This one's hit in the air towards the gap. Puig closing and makes the catch. The inning is over. The Jackfish cash in 2 in the 8th inning and have taken a 6-4 lead, and the Maple Leafs have 6 outs to work with to try and come back. Well, Davy Mendez time comes early in this ball game for the Welland Jackfish. In the 8th, he'll face Brando Leroux to lead things off. Well, Brando has been the hero for the Maple Leafs so far in this game. His 3-run home run gave them the lead. It was 4-3 at the time, since the Jackfish have scored 1 in the 7th and 2 in the 8th. Maple Leafs have 4 runs on 8 hits tonight. The 1-0 to Mendez. One missed from Mendez. Davy Mendez has an ERA of 0.93 on the season. He has been quite effective as usual.
Yeah, just a lethal fastball and just a tremendous arm at the back end of the bullpen.
Yeah, fastball that a lot of batters that I've talked to have described as rising out of the hand. Obviously, that's not really possible, but it's a fastball that stays on plane a lot more than your usual fastball does, which is tough to hit if you're at the plate, especially after you just saw Pedro de los Santos in the game, who does not have that kind of fastball. He throws a lot of other pitches. There's the 1-2 to Leroux, and it's upstairs. Two and 2 on Brando. This is a challenging matchup for the young Maple Leafs hitter. And Leroux takes low and away. That is just such a good take on the breaking ball there from Davy Mendez. Exactly where Mendez wanted to throw it.
Good release, and would not be surprised if he tries to come inside now with that heavy fastball.
Shakes off his catcher a few times, now goes with the 3-2 pitch. And it's strike 3 called on the outside corner. Leroux goes down looking.
That's a tough one to swing at, especially after seeing the breaking ball in the outside half like that. You just pinpoint a perfect fastball if you are Mendez.
Davy Mendez at this point is, I guess, one of the veterans in the league, but on his resume has time in the Tampa Bay Rays, the Pittsburgh Pirates, and the San Diego Padres system over his professional career. And Crix Tavares takes a strike. That one delivered just high for Mendez, and the count's 1-1. Davy Mendez has been a part of both Jackfish championship teams and their short stint in the Intercounty Baseball League. There's the 1-1. That pitch misses down and in. Good take there from Tavares. Although, if you look back to the history of Davy Mendez, you know, last season was the only season where he actually gave up a couple of runs. He's been very, very stingy. He went like almost 3 seasons without giving up a run. But the runs that he has gave up in the past have usually been to the Maple Leafs. The 2-1. Maple Leafs legends like Marcus Connect, who's in the ball game. Marcus Connect actually hit a home run off of Davy Mendez way back, and it was the 21 or 22 season. Part of back-to-back home runs, with Justin Mara being the other one. Former Leafs catcher Justin Mara always was really effective. Davy Mendez was actually one of the pitchers that he hit best, which you can say for almost nobody in the league in past years. Here's the 2-2. Actually, excuse me, I got to correct myself there. Mara hit a double in that game. I don't know why I remember this playoff game against the Jackfish so vividly.
I was say, you remember pretty vividly.
Yeah, it was Jordan Castaldo, the first baseman, who went back-to-back with Marcus Connect. But now the new regime of Maple Leafs trying to keep that trend going. Here's the 3-2. And that one's up and in, ball 4. Crix Tavares will work the walk. And when I say trend of scoring runs against Davy Mendez, I just mean they have scored runs as opposed to all the other teams who just really haven't at all.
Well, he had a long streak a couple seasons ago of just not giving up a run at all.
Yeah.
It was truthfully just amazing stuff.
Graham Sim was warming in the bullpen. Now looks like he's pretty much ready to go down there. Great matchup here. Yasiel Puig versus Davy Mendez. Big swing from Puig, and he fouled it off and does that signature lick of the bat after just getting a piece of it. One 1-0 on Yasiel Puig, representing the tying run at the plate. Puig cues it off the end of the bat, and it rolls into fair territory. The run will go to second base. That was a bizarre play off the bat of Yasiel Puig. You heard the pop like it hit right off that hollow part on the end of the bat, was in foul territory, but had so much spin that it rolled back into fair territory. And that was just not the result that we thought in that what was going to be a great matchup between Yasiel Puig and Davy Mendez. Kind of underwhelming, actually.
Yeah, it's a tough play there. I mean, Puig, he read it right. It was just an off speed in the same location. He was expecting a fastball, and he's just a little out in front of it. And like you said, he cued it right off the end of that bat.
Now J.J. Dutton. Breaking ball just misses outside. That was a good take there from Dutton. Here's the 1-0. Dutton takes, and the count's 1-1. The lore out there on the street has kind of been that J.J. Dutton has felt like he's getting squeezed a little bit on those breaking balls that are just off the plate outside. So today he rectified that by just swinging at one and getting an RBI single earlier in the game.
Hey, if it works, it works.
That one well outside, and it missed. That RBI single way back in the first inning gave the Maple Leafs a 1-0 lead. They held that until the fourth. The 1-2. Dutton takes low, and he finds himself in a hitter's count here against Davy Mendez. Mendez looking to lower that ERA into the low 0.8 range if he can get Dutton here.
Into that Louis Varlin range.
Mm-hmm. Mendez 3-1 pitch to Dutton. And JJ takes a strike, just a perfect pitch on the outer half. J.J. Dutton, can he cash in a runner at second base here with 2 outs? 3 into the count on the tough pitcher in Mendez. And Dutton fouls it off. Pretty good cut at that pitch.
Well, Mendez, he's faced 4 hitters. 3 out of those 4 hitters, they've worked a full count. They are making him throw a lot of pitches here in this inning, and with how thin their bullpen is, he's probably the man for the 9th as well.
14 pitches so far for Davy Mendez. Good point. He's the closer for the Jackfish. Looking for a 6-out save. No action in the bullpen, nor should there be. Another 3-2 to Dutton. And J.J. Dutton takes high. Ball 4, 2 on here for the Maple Leafs, and in steps Dennis DeBanning.
Big moment here for Dennis DeBanning. He represents the go-ahead run, and it could be a big moment in this ball game here with one swing of the bat.
DeBanning has power, has a base hit in this ball game. One of those hits where, you know, you hit the ball well, you hit it right back up the middle. Umpires are coming to talk about something here. Interesting look at the out-of-town scores. So as things stand, if this score held in the World Cup game, I think Canada would actually play South Africa in their first game.
Oh, yeah.
We like that matchup, right?
That's a fun matchup.
That's better than
the
alternative?
In Korea, yeah.
Yeah. And
really good get matched. Not sure if... Oh, this is interesting.
So the Maple Leafs asked for a substance check there on Mendez's glove or whatever. So this is particularly interesting because this is starting to go around a bit. Frank Garces was ejected from a game earlier on in the week, and I think teams have kind of saw that and started to think, well, maybe, you know, we should check pitchers. And the Maple Leafs, you know, maybe it's a bit of gamesmanship. Maybe they, you know, really thought that there was something about what he was doing, which is interesting because Frank Garces, you know, I don't know if that's happened before to him, but he got caught. Like, he was ejected right away in the first inning of that ball game. It was super costly for the Barrie Baycats in that game.
Yeah, so I was actually up in Guelph last night. I was having a chat with a couple of the front office people there in Guelph, and that was a big talking point, was that, you know, the conversation about, you know, sticky stuff and all of that for pitchers, they're going to take it a lot more seriously now. I mean, there were mentions that they would possibly start checking gloves between innings and all that, but yeah, that's definitely something they're taking a little bit more seriously.
There's the 0-1 to Dennis DeBanning. And he fouls it off, had a good rip at it. He's behind the count 0-2, so this is going to be tough, but Dennis DeBanning, when there's been any kind of little bits of adversity or controversy on the field, Dennis DeBanning he's thrived in moments like these. Think back to the playoffs last year in the Barrie Baycats. There were substance checks in those games as well. In fact, the catcher, Justin Marr, ended up being checked, and Dennis DeBanning was a big part of that series, ended up hitting an emotional home run in that series as well under those kind of circumstances. The pitch from Mendez, this one's hit on the ground to third. The play will be to first, and it's right on the money to end the inning. Well, Davey Mendez throws quite a few pitches, up around 20, gets checked for a substance on the way out, but is still able to retire the Maple Leafs, who are down to their final 3 outs here at Christie Pitts.
beautiful. Tonight's moon phase, ladies and gentlemen, it's a waxing gibbous. Looking phenomenal with the clouds just kind of going through. The next full moon phase, if anybody's curious, it's going to be June 29th.
Yeah, and we'll look forward to that. It's kind of nice how it's cleared up here at Christie Pitts. For a moment there at the beginning, there was some ominous looking clouds where we might not have seen the moon phase, but it's cleared up. It's turned into a pretty nice evening here at the Pits.
Do you know what the previous moon phase was before this one?
Honestly, we did it on the broadcast. I don't remember what it was.
It's okay. It's the first quarter.
Oh, okay.
That was on June 21st. So it goes first quarter, waxing gibbous, and then a full moon, my friend.
I think you're just reading words up there, pal.
Nope. I'm definitely don't have it pulled up on my laptop right now.
Luis Florentino, he threw a lot of pitches in the 8th. He's back out there on the mound for the Maple Leafs. As we saw earlier, Graham Sim looks like he's ready to go if Florentino gets in any kind of trouble here in the 9th. James Smybert at the dish, the third baseman. He's actually been busy defensively today. Smybert takes just inside. Bit of a hesitation there from Matt Brandt, wanting the call. James Smybert hitting .348 on the season with his 1 for 3 today. .30 inside ball 4, so that's the second time that Smybert has walked as he heads down to first base. He's had a productive day. An RBI, he scored a run. And now he tries to tack on here for the Jackfish in the top of the 9th. I mean, if the Jackfish could score some runs here, maybe they could go to someone other than Davey Mendez. He had to throw about 20 pitches just to get out of the 8th inning, and he's tasked with a 6-out save for Welland.
I can see him. He's sitting outside of the dugout right now, just to the back. The shorter half inning that this is for the Maple Leafs, the better it looks for the Maple Leafs in the offensive half facing Mendez.
Mm-hmm. And the Hamilton Cardinals are sitting at home right now just loving what's happening with an extended outing for Mendez if it ends up happening, because they play the Jackfish tomorrow. This ball is fouled off. Once again, a Jackfish runner was going. This time it's James Smybert trying to head down to second base. If the Jackfish finish the year leading the league in stolen bases, which it looks like they will, it won't be the first time they've done that. They have always been up there and had a ton of speed. That's been one of the prerequisites for playing on the Welland Jackfish. You have to be fast. There's a small handful of players that don't have speed on this Jackfish team. This one's popped up on the infield. Brando Leroux is calling for it, and he makes the catch. One out in the inning.
Catcher number 23, Robert Mullen.
Robert Mullen. It might be one of the few Jackfish that doesn't steal a ton of bases, but he is the catcher. Now the runner goes, well, it's the same one, James Smybert, and he is going to steal that bag with ease as the pitch was high and popped it out of the glove of Matt Brandt. Runner in scoring position now for a good RBI guy in Mullen. Florentino throws pitch number 21, and it's a swing and a miss from Mullen, 1-1.
Florentino's another one of those guys that has a really heavy fastball. Kind of the same thing with DePaula. If DePaula can kind of get that control, you know, revved up a little bit more, he can be a dominant arm in this back end of the bullpen. Florentino last year for the Maple Leafs, come playoff time, I mean, he was a guy that you can rely on for any team if his name was called upon. He was so good in the back end of the bullpen. The 2-1 to Mullen. Check swing.
Another check down to second. No swing, says the umpire on the base path. Three and one on the power hitting Mullen, and he takes upstairs ball 4. Florentino just missed high with that one. Deep into this outing. And trying to reach back for a little extra to mow down these Jackfish in the 9th. I think Rob Butler is sensing that Florentino is running out of gas a little bit on the mound. He's going to make the call down to the bullpen. It'll probably be Graham Sim running in from the outfield. It is. We'll have more on that when we come back. Oh, welcome back to Christie Pitts. Graham Sim is the new pitcher into the game. He takes over for Luis Florentino. And here's a bunt down the third baseline, and it's rolling and foul. It would have been a pretty good bunt as it just stayed true there. But Spencer Ross smartly lets it roll. Graham Sim has an ERA of 4.76 coming into this outing. He's been an effective pitcher for the Maple Leafs this season.
Especially a good arm to have towards the back end of a bullpen.
A lot of the runs on Sim's record, I mean, if you take away the game against the Barrie Baycats last time out, he'd be perfect this season without allowing an earned run. But he gave up 3 over an inning and 2/3 in a game that the Maple Leafs lost. 0-1 on Luther. That pitch up and away. It looked like a breaking ball that just kind of slipped out of the hand of Sim as he wipes off some of the perspiration on his pants. The 1-1. Just outside. Much better pitch there from Sim, but he just missed. 2-1 the count now. Sim throws a lot of strikes. He's only walked 1 batter all season. That's over the course of 5 2/3 innings. The 2-1. At the knees, another perfect location, and the count's 2-2.
Sim does a really good job when he comes down the mound. He gets on top of the ball, and it just kind of has that extra movement, just the downward trajectory from his arm.
Line drive into the outfield. That's down for a base hit. DeBanning has it. Comes up firing. Throw to the plate. Cut off. and a run will come in to score. It's 7-4 Jackfish. Runners at first and second again for Welland. They've got a run in the inning. That one will be charged to Luis Florentino. Sim trying to hold this lead right here. It's still a save situation for Davy Mendez if he comes back out. Hupe at the dish, and the first pitch is low. Graham Sim has a tall, lanky stature out there, stands at 6'4" and gets a great whipping action with his arm as he comes towards home plate. Clocked his fastball a couple weeks ago, sitting in the upper 80s.
And if you're able to kind of manipulate a fastball with that stature and an off speed, it can be really hard for hitters to sometimes pick up what's coming out of your hand, especially if you can just tunnel it really, really well.
Sims 1-1. This one's popped up on the infield, just a weak little shot there to the second baseman, Jordan Mandalay, who was having a little bit of fun with the runner Robert Mullen out there on the base pass as he faked like he dropped the ball. See if he could get some action off the base. Well, this is the hitter you got to get here. Get out of the inning, get the number 9 guy, and Abe.
Number 6, Abe.
First pitch of the at-bat from Sim. Abe flares this one to left, and it is caught on the run by Dennis DeBanning. That ball just was sailing and sailing. DeBanning stayed with it. That's an important out. The Jackfish just keep on tacking on runs. They've now extended it to a 3-run lead. We'll stay for a moment, see if we can see which pitcher is coming back out on the mound for the Welland Jackfish, and it is Davy Mendez, who will cross the chalk line and try and get the 6-out save against the Maple Leafs. Marcus Connect versus Davy Mendez, a matchup that we've seen quite often in the league over the last 4 years or so. That'll be what's on the plate here to start the 9th inning for the Maple Leafs as they try to tack on some runs and come with what historically would be an unlikely comeback with this guy on the mound.
Yeah, sometimes you'd say you need a bloop and a blast, but with the arm of Mendez, you need a couple bloops and a big-time blast. But it's always so rare to come by with how good he's been.
And I was going to say a walk would probably help as well, but Marcus Connect is behind 0-2, and he's really going to have to battle here against Davy Mendez. Marcus Connect's probably hoping that he tries to go with that elevated fastball. Here's the 0-2. He painted it on the outside corner. Strike 3 called. 3 pitches, all in a really good spot there from Mendez, who doesn't appear to be feeling any kind of fatigue after a long 8th.
This is an at-bat that's very interesting to me to see here. A guy in Jordan Mandela who's so good at making contact and just putting bat to ball against a guy in David Mendez who's so good at missing bats.
4 straight strikes to start the inning. The 0-1 pitch misses outside. 1-1. You were counting for an immaculate inning there.
I thought about it for a second. You know, I was
early.
like 4 straight. I'm like, let's see how long you can go.
Mandalay would not let that happen. He puts the ball in play too well. There's the 1-1. Pops it up.
Heads up.
This could be anywhere. And it lands in front of us by a wide margin.
Great effort. I believe that was Brando Leroux' dad that just ran up the hill to get that.
Good.
Great effort.
Need to collect all the baseballs you can. I saw the Maple Leafs just put out a post. You can exchange baseballs at Christie Pitts. You can get a donut for a baseball, as there's a swing and a miss. Davy Mendez gets 2 strikeouts to start the 9th inning. I think it's a donut or a freezy that you can get in exchange for a baseball, which admittedly is pretty good value for the Maple Leafs.
Yeah. I can tell you right now the Maple Leafs have 20 dozen more baseballs.
Right. But if you're hungry,
give it back. I may or may not have been the one to pick up the order today.
Did you?
Yeah.
Maple Leafs down to their final out here. Spencer Ross takes ball 1. One and 0 on Ross. Maple Leafs needing a couple of bloops and a blast to tie this thing up. Ross takes high. Pitchers continue to not throw Spencer Ross strikes. That's been the theme over the last couple games. Mendez goes back to the rosin bag to get a better grip on the baseball. Here's the 2-0. Ross pops it up, but this one's going to get onto the hillside out of play.
Ross putting up a good fight here. And what could possibly be the final at-bat of the ball game.
Two and one. You'll remember last inning with 2 outs, Maple Leafs asked for a substance check on the glove of Davy Mendez, which certainly caught the eye of us and some fans. Just interesting to see that kind of going around. By the way, it was determined there was no substance. It was a quick check. Maple Leafs down to their final strike. Spencer Ross calls time at the dish. He's going to put everything into trying to find his way on base here against Mendez and keep this game going. The 2-2 from Davy Mendez. Deep breath, here's the pitch. Ross fouls it off, just refusing to go down here in this at-bat. Approaching the 3-hour and 30-minute mark in this ball game here at Christie Pitts, but it certainly hasn't been a tedious game. It's been a spirited bout between these two teams, back and forth. Maple Leafs took that 1-0 lead, held on to it for a couple of innings. The Jackfish tacked on one, and it's been a close game up until the 9th so far. Here's the 2-2 to Ross. And he fouls it off again.
Yeah, Jackfish answered nicely and really showed why they've been one of the more dominant teams here in the CBL to start. The Leafs, they put up a good fight. They got a great start out of Vasilinovic.
Davey Mendez is having trouble putting away Spencer Ross, who just continues to foul off pitches. Matt Brandt on deck, hoping that he gets an at-bat in the inning. The 2-2 to Ross. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Finally, Davey Mendez gets the punch out. He strikes out the side, gets the 6-out save against the Maple Leafs, and it's a 7-4 victory for the Welland Jackfish here at Christie Pitts.
Yeah, again, like I mentioned, you get a good start out of both starting pitchers, but the Welland Jackfish, their prowess on the bases, stealing bases, shone through, and then the power in the bat continued to show why they are one of the top teams so far this year in the CBL.
Yeah, Maple Leafs haven't played bad baseball over the last couple games, but are just fighting to ease their way into that final playoff spot. Still lots of time to go, but approaching the halfway point, and they have a part in their schedule where wins are certainly on the table. And if you put together a performance like you did against the Welland Jackfish, against a team that has just a little bit less firepower, Maple Leafs might be able to find themselves in the win column a couple of times. But they dropped this one to the Welland Jackfish. They had 7 runs on 11 hits. The Maple Leafs had 4 runs on 8 hits. Both teams made an error. We saw some spectacular defense on either side as well. Thanks so much for tuning in from Thomas West and Zach Benoit. Have a great rest of your night.